pyramid and you just put basic beliefs on top of the basics beliefs. I doubt you know
So
what
this is just
foundation
something
was,
you
but
hold for no good reason, and you just build on top of that?
you're not smart enough to understand it. Sorry.
All right, then what's the good reason?
What's the good reason? I don't know. I just like there are things in my life I can't explain. All right. So it's more fair to say that like I'm open-minded. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like totally sold. You could say I'm more agnostic than I am believer, but trending more towards the side of believer. Do you know what happened before the Big Bang, son? I don't.
What makes you think before was the thing?
I don't know what happened. If I
What
don't
makes
know,
you
I
think
can't.
before was this
So
thing?
the proper way to say it is I don't know. Right? I don't know if God is real or not.
No, but you recognize that the Big Bang is the universe expanding,
That's true.
right? So we observe the universe expand, and you're
I believe you.
asking, what was the time before expanding? All we've observed is expand. You're
Well,
saying there's this other thing,
yeah, that's true. It definitely
right?
wasn't created in 6 days, was it?
Wait, you're saying there's this not expand, right?
It does.
I'm sorry.
100%. I believe in
We
science
observe
100%,
expand.
brother.
All right. Are we on the same page with expand? Is stuff
Yeah.
expanding right now?
Yep.
Right.
So if you look at like the red light shift or
when you
whatever,
so when you say a before, are you proposing a non-expansion?
it is expanding, yes. It has to because galaxies are expanding faster. Do you know that
Yeah,
galaxies
but I'm
expand?
asking
Like,
you about non-expansion.
it has to expand, bud. That's how space got big.
So does that mean you don't have any non-expansion?
I don't think so.
Right. So when you asked me about a before Big Bang, where did that come from? That question.
Well, you can't answer it, and neither can I. So
Wait, what makes you think this is a valid question?
because if I don't know the question, right? If I don't know how the universe was created, I can't answer it. Like,
Wait, do you believe there are inappropriate questions?
yes,
Right. And how do we get them to appropriate when we're discussing reality?
there is no reality before the Big Bang, brother.
All right. So let me try
There's
an
no
inappropriate.
time.
Let me
There's
attempt
no
an
reality.
inappropriate question knowledge just to put this in practice.
Do you even know what do you even know what like a geodesic is, or what the metric tensor is, or what fourth dimensional time is?
Yeah, I've heard
Let's
these
see.
terms.
Do you even know your own model? When I say that time is a fourth dimensional, like that follows a differential manifold that's imposed on the metric tensor, and it's what gives rise to the geodesic. The geodesic is what the pilot uses to like fly from a two-dimensional like manifold off the ground into like three-dimensional space. So do you know your own model, bud?
I'm familiar with these
Now
terms of
tell me
orientation.
everything I just told you that physics tells me.
This is not interesting, dude.
Knowledge, this seems to be a red herring with respect to
No,
me
I just want to see if you know
explaining
more
what an
physics than this
inappropriate
Christian.
question is with respect to how reality functions.
I know how reality
So
functions.
an
I know it better
example
than
of
you.
inappropriate question knowledge would be,
It's not
why
an
did you
inappropriate
steal money
question. You
from the
can't answer
starving
it. That's
orphan
why
children? That would
you
be an
can't answer it.
example of the inappropriate question.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
can't
acknowledge
answer
that?
it. What'd you say?
Did you acknowledge that the
You're an
question,
idiot, dude. Why you keep
why did you
talking?
steal money from the starving orphan children, is inappropriate?
Okay, but that's so a notation can't contradict a
Do
tautology.
you
Is
agree
what you're
that it's
telling
an
me?
inappropriate
Do you know what a
question?
tautology is, buddy? Or are you just gonna answer stupid? Are you just gonna? Do you know how to debate? You're just asking stupid questions.
I'm trying to have common
What's the
ground
difference?
knowledge.
What is a notation? What you're telling me in a tautology? Can it contradict?
Right. A tautology is simply a statement that reiterates itself and provides no further reasoning for a track of thought. It's simply
It's
that
a
something
statement
that is
that can't
true
be.
in
It
all
says
possible.
both things can't
It's
be true
simply
at the
the
same
same
time.
case in all possible worlds, according to the propositions of logic.
Okay, that's cool. So 2 plus 2 can't both be 4 and 5, right?
Knowledge. Now, can you answer my question?
It's not an inappropriate question. It's a question you can't answer.
So you did steal money from the starving orphan children?
Nope.
Wait, then why is it an appropriate question?
Because it has no bearing on this conversation. We're talking about physics.
But it
I
does
want you
have
to
a
explain.
it does
Okay,
have
so
bearing
Lawrence Krauss,
because
I
of the
don't even
name
think you
because
understand what the.
you
I don't even
didn't
think you
do
understand the physics, bud.
knowledge.
Okay, you
You
don't even know
didn't
what the red
do
light shift
the
is. You don't
work.
know what a metric tensor is. You don't even know what was.
Knowledge.
Do you even know
I
what like?
have
No, you don't.
knowledge.
Alright? You're a fucking retard. Shut up, dude.
What's your educational background?
I think that dude was on mushrooms or something.
I know what all those words mean. I can explain them. They're just not relevant.
That's what I mean. I think he was on a trip, like just on drugs or
Assalamu alaikum.
something.
Yeah, the Jewish God is not only not real, but it's also evil. I
Alright,
hate the demiurge.
That's one god down.
Well,
Keep going.
it's also, I mean, it's also the God of the Christians and the Muslims, supposedly. So,
All right, but we can keep going, right? Go ahead.
yeah, we could keep going. I guess I'm satisfied with just stopping there.
Is there a thing in reality that you refer to as God?
Yeah, it kind of depends on your definition, right? Like some people say, oh, like the most important thing to you is your God.
Wait, doesn't it depend on your definition since Mogi's asking you?
Oh, my definition of God? I'd say some sort of like supernatural,
I just asked you if there was
all-powerful.
a thing in reality that you referred to as God, and that's what you're going for?
Oh no, no. I mean, God does not exist in reality. No, I mean it's just God is a concept in people's minds. It's not. It doesn't exist in reality.
Considering there's nothing in reality that you refer to as God, you wouldn't be able to present one, right?
Well, I could tell you the concept of a God, sure.
How is that a presentation of the God?
In reality.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I can't like physically show you a God. No, of course not.
Okay, then. We accept your concession. You lose. We win. Correct, nerd?
Absolutely fucking dominated.
You
just
lose, we win.
Yeah, you just prevented yourself from making any physical claim about God, including existence.
It's not what I did.
Yeah, you did. You said it's non-physical.
Yeah, the concept
Right.
of a God, it's not physical.
So
it's
you've
supernatural.
excluded yourself
It's
from
not,
making any physical claim about it. That's what I just said. You don't get
Yeah,
to
it's
make
not-
any
it's
physical
not-
claims.
Yeah, not a physical claim. Obviously, God is not
Yeah.
physical.
So God
It's
doesn't
a-
get to be space or time because those are both physical.
Sure.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm an atheist,
Right.
but yeah.
Right.
That doesn't mean I can't.
Yeah, you've defined a God into
theism.
like
I
you're
mean,
defining a God. Though. Are you
atheism
an
is just-
atheist if you're telling us what God is?
Yes, I'm an atheist. Atheism
No,
is
no, no.
just
You
a
didn't
lack
hear
of
my
a belief
question.
in a
You
God.
didn't hear my question.
So, and the burden of proof,
Did
the
you
burden
hear
of
the
proof is on
question?
the religious person to prove. that
Hey,
there's
man,
God,
are you just
and they can't.
talking to hear yourself? Because I can't hear you when I'm asking if you heard my question.
I'm talking because I'm trying to answer the other.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question though, and I can like mute you. So yeah, go fuck yourself. It's crazy how people say I'm an atheist and I tell you exactly what God is. Wow.
And then that wasn't an answer to the question. I wasn't even asking a question. I was asking to prove it. And they just said, I don't have to. So it's not an answer to the question.
Dude, have you ever seen Async Network?
Oh, no. What's that?
They're just live streamers. They're atheist live streamers or whatever. I just watched the last couple of times. They just got this fucking absolute dumbass on there right now. You barely understand.
I'm just watching like an interview about McKinney Manor. It's like another Reckless Benz kind of project. It's like a fake haunted house where they just torture people.
Gotta find something to watch.
I was gonna say Deep Sea Challenge 3D, but I don't think that's the. I can't find one where it's only one. It's all stereoscopic. What'd you think of Garmores?
What, think of what?
Garmores, the Last Druid.
I didn't get to see any of that. What are you talking about?
You didn't watch it?
No. Oh, you must have had me like watch something, but I never got to.
Yeah, this one's like I wouldn't say it's a diamond in the rough, but it's a zircon crystal in the rough.
All right. Oh, I seen that Kevin dude, Kevin Durant. He's like a high beat rate actor.
And then I guess to follow the theme, have you watched Valley of the Wind?
No.
So this is like a Miyazaki. This is like an old Miyazaki movie with it's all like apocalypse insect themed as the follow up.
Haven't told, huh?
It's an oldie but a goodie. I might actually rewatch that myself. It's been like a decade at least.
I was like wanting to watch Akira. I haven't seen that in so long. It's the only real like anime I ever really paid attention to.
I think it came out at a very. The timing was really good for the social criticism it had, or rather, I don't know if it was necessarily a social criticism, as it really is just like a metaphor for the fallout of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's the impression that I got. There's a lot of people who read the mangas complained because it only really touches on like some of the first volume in like a 4-part series, is it? 6.
Hello.
Reading.
Greetings. Shoot. You two. Sorry. Was there a debate going on, or was it just like mostly relaxation and chill, or
Do you believe a God exists in reality?
no?
So you cannot demonstrate one to exist, right?
No. Though I do believe if God is omniscient and knows all things, then he would in fact know what it's like to take a big black cock in the ass, because he wouldn't need the experience to know what it's like. And that is just something that Christians are going to have to face with and deal with.
Yeah, but I'm asking about your ability.
Oh, well, I'm not a Christian.
So you don't have any ability to demonstrate a God existing in reality?
I don't, but I can't. Fuck it, I'll go along with this. No, and I don't have an ability to prove the other way around either.
All right, accept your concession. You lose. We win. Correct.
You do. Thank you. I appreciate it, my lord. Thank you for accepting me. All right, I love you. Bye. Bye, Corgi.
It's the only thing they retained. Butt stuff.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find a YouTube video to watch. Fuck, go lay down.
Your pussy stinks. Fucking bitch.
So you said words.
Yo, hello.
Greeting.
Hey, has anyone tried to prove you wrong yet?
Sure.
They did?
I tried.
No, not me. I want to watch someone try because I think it'd be funny.
Not because you're unable.
Yeah, because I agree. God's not real. Is that your position?
Which one?
I could actually debate both sides. What's your position?
I know no gods exist.
Okay, what's your evidence of an absence of God?
All right, if you look beyond your 5 senses, you can get
Yeah.
access to a subset of qualia known as metal factory qualia, which reveals a body of knowledge known as the atemporal recipe, which reveals the true nature of the third medium and that no gods exist and that we're responsible for our own decisions.
But couldn't that just be the result of our limited data that we can capture based on the space that we occupy being restricted to just planet Earth for the most part?
No.
What if there's external data that might modify the framework, is what I'm saying? Like, we haven't experienced the whole universe. We've experienced like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what it has to offer.
I mean, the truth is as revealed.
So you would agree then there could be a truth as yet to be revealed that might change your perspective?
Not in this case.
Am I to take your meaning of what you just said to mean that like the truth is as it's revealed, like we only know what we can see and observe and quantify?
No.
What do you mean by that then, I guess?
I mean, here's direct experience to body of knowledge. And in that body of knowledge is the truth that no gods exist.
But like when you run an experiment, for example, you have to have data points to base it on, and it's almost like running a a double-blind study where we have some data to make a comparison, but we don't have all the information. We don't have all the data.
I think you're trying to build some other stuff.
I'm saying, do you know the
Which is
allegory of the
cool.
cave? Do you know the allegory of the cave?
Yeah, solipsism
Okay,
is
so-
a bad topic, but I recognize it.
It's a banned topic?
Yeah, it's codified in the Sudjet.
Oh shit, okay. Can I reference it or
I mean,
in this
If-
context?
I mean, as long as you don't reject my existence.
No, I don't. I'm quite the opposite. I'm saying all of our existence is sort of determined by what we're able to perceive right now, and that's constantly.
Then
sort of
why are you bringing up
Hold on.
solipsism then?
I don't. I guess maybe it's irrelevant. But
Who's
If-
advocating for what, real quick?
if what we can perceive, he's saying that there is no God, and I'm arguing that we don't have definitive evidence that there's not a God. I'm not necessarily arguing for the existence of a God. I'm saying that we can't prove there isn't one because we
Okay.
don't have enough data.
No, that's a fair point, though.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Is like
I'm saying
we're
there is
observing
data.
the universe from such a corner and such a small position that
Well, yeah.
we can't definitively say that we won't come across some information that might reveal the presence of a superior being.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're trying to construct a case via an exhaustive process, and I'm not
No, I'm just
using that
saying-
route at all.
I'm just
Okay.
saying that the amount of data we have is limited. That's literally all I'm saying. And
If we were to
form
build a case using your exhaustive process, sure.
but to form a conclusion based on limited data, wouldn't you say that that's maybe irresponsible?
I mean, that's not my case at all.
You're saying the data that we have is enough to form a conclusion?
Yeah.
How
Okay,
come?
well, here's
Sorry, you go. You go ahead.
the simplest explanation for why I believe there to be God is that we know that the universe is expanding, and because it's expanding from somewhere, right? And
Wait.
most scientists.
That
Hold
doesn't
on.
denote evidence
Hold
of
on.
a superior being.
I'm not
Wait,
done.
no,
I'm not
hold
done.
on. Well, we have an issue of contention already. Can we address it?
Sure.
Yeah. So you said it must come from? You said it come from?
No, there must be a point from which
Yeah.
the
there
expansion
must
started.
be a point from which started. What did you observe in reality to indicate it started?
The expansion of the universe and the fact that we exist.
How does that indicate it started? That seems to indicate expansion and that we exist, not the started part.
Right. So if things are moving out, right, there must be a cause, right?
I mean, that's your
So-
conclusion, but nothing follows there.
Because the universe is
Hold on.
You
Can
know,
you?
obviously
I got the
changing
will.
and
Can you
moving.
just keep your statement? Like, can you say the data of like why you believe what you believe, and then we could maybe scrutinize it?
okay. Well, in the I believe that just like what you want me to tell you what I believe.
But
Well,
based
no,
on the evidence that you
I want to hear good reasons to get there because it seems like you're
right. That's what I'm saying as well. Right.
So
Okay, we can.
Can you
I can write it.
rationalize-
Yeah,
can you-
maybe
can you
if I
explain-
start writing it down, it'll be like more clear.
Okay, let's go with metaphysics, right? Let's go. This is easier for me to explain, right? It's not simple, but it's easier for me to explain, if that makes sense. Metaphysics. Okay, so Aristotelian metaphysics, right? So logic is the chief principle of Aristotelian metaphysics. Okay, not like what actually is, or that you can perceive, or what you think is, right? So the first premise is that all things that have parts have potency, right? Potency is the ability to be
I
any
don't
other way.
acknowledge. I don't acknowledge that.
Yeah, this seems a little bit like what would you call it? Like fringe science or something like fringe, like the way it's like a lot of flowery language.
That's
not a lot of.
That's not science.
Yeah,
You can't just reject
a
logic.
quick clarification. How many parts does your God have, and is it powerful?
God is one.
Okay, so
So
you said parts mean power.
No potency.
Yeah,
The
potency is a measure of power.
No, potency in this potency, you could say potentiality or whatever, is the which potency is the
Yeah.
potential to be
Hey, man.
any other way.
Hey, man.
The
So it has no potency.
no, he is who he is.
Yeah, but it doesn't
So
have many
it's
parts,
impotent?
though. You said
So
because
he's
it doesn't
impotent?
have parts, it's not potent. 'Cause
Okay, so
you
here's
said potency comes from parts, right?
Have you heard the term
anything
impotent?
anything that has parts is potent, which means
So God's
potency
not part.
means
God's not
So
potent.
God's impotent?
you're not listening. Let me
I
explain.
am. You said God's got one part, and having no parts equals impotency. That's what you said. Quit gaslighting me, dude, and pay attention to what you're saying. I'm only repeating
Here-
back what you said.
Here's the premise that I'm stating. Anything that has parts
I
has
heard
the
you,
potential to be any other way.
bro. So God can't be any other way, and it's impotent.
Yes, he's impotent. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. It took
he doesn't
forever.
have parts.
Okay, fine. That's
He
all I
doesn't-
was getting at, dude. You were just like doing this weird shit. Your God's impotent. All right, next.
Okay, and anything that has parts has potency, right? And if you have potency, there must be a cause for why it is the way it is. Do we reject that premise?
I reject
I
that
don't
whole
accept
fucking
that.
shit, dude.
I don't accept the notion of potency.
The potential for anything to be any other way?
Yeah, for this way.
Right. So the
The only way for this one is this one. There's no potency.
so take a pen, right? You take a pen, it has parts. Okay.
Yeah, but hey,
There's a
for
potential.
this way, hold on, Will.
Can I just say
for
I got the
this
will? I
way
still didn't even know what
cannot
your position is, dude.
So
Like,
for spaghetti, for this way cannot exclude anything that's actual. So if you look at a small example of a pen, you're still going to need to consider all other things as well, just so you're aware. Because it wouldn't be this way without the other things.
That's exactly the point. Is that there has to be an outside cause.
That has
Why?
what does this have to
yeah,
do with
what?
cause?
Why?
It's nonetheless this way. This is the way. The only way for this way is for this way to be the case, not any other
But
way.
are there other logical realities that could exist?
No,
Well,
those would be
no.
fictions. This is the one reality.
No, I'm talking about logic. No, I'm not talking
Yeah, so
about literal
that's
physics.
not
I'm
real.
talking
Yeah,
about
but
metaphysics.
yeah, but we're discussing things about reality. Why are you running from reality?
This is why I asked, you to ground your position in data. I got the will, and like explain like the evidence that you have for why you believe the things that you do. Because we're it's not just logic; it's like evidence. It's data.
I'm talking about philosophy, not science or data.
Okay, but then
Yeah,
you're going off vibes. Then you're
Wait.
going off vibes.
That
and not
hold
That's
on.
not
That
true.
statement
That's
made
not
no
true.
sense because science is philosophy. Scientists
Right.
are philosophers.
I'm not
right,
talking
and it's
about
constantly
data.
evolving, but it's based on data and reality.
Okay, if you all are talking about like scientific data, that's not like obviously you're never going to find enough evidence to prove that there is or isn't a god, which whoever had that statement earlier, that's correct. I'm talking
Okay,
about
then what is your position, and what evidence do you have to back that position other than just like vibes?
it's not vibes, it's logic. It's drawing a logical conclusion from the acceptance of premises, which is what
Yeah,
people have been
but-
doing for 2,500
Well,
years.
Well, there
But,
seems to
but
be,
explain yours then.
There's a
If
spaghetti. Hold on. So the fundamental issue here seems to be the case that when we make reference to stuff, we can make reference to things that don't exist, right?
Sure.
Can we be logically consistent about things that don't exist?
Yes.
Right. So then we need to do more work between the things that don't exist and do, right?
What do you mean by more work?
Well, we need to tell the difference between the two, right?
Well, what is different from what isn't, and I think it's very obvious to to make that distinction, right? You
Just
have
fuck
Well,
obvious
you're
You're
gonna.
not
behaviors
answering-
The
here.
thing is, you need to sell it. You need to sell it. So you saying it's
I need to
obvious.
tell that reality is real.
Well, you need to sell that the God is participating in that process.
What
Yeah,
I'm not arguing about God's nature, right? That's not, or like how he did what he did. I'm talking about that that there is a contingency that exists.
You need to argue that he did what he did.
Yeah, what do you think we're trying to do right now?
It seems to be that prove that Aristotelian
No.
metaphysics isn't valid.
No.
I mean, that's what you've been
No.
doing here.
We're trying to fact check your claims, and so we're looking
Right,
for a
exactly.
way to do that. And you're not
Exactly.
providing us the way to do that.
Exactly.
Can you shut up, dude?
Sorry.
So when you're not providing us a way to fact check what you're saying, we know you don't have that epistemic access that we're asking for. That's the blunder of not being prepared, is that you indicate to us you don't have what we're asking for.
I'm talking about a hypothetical to illustrate reality, right? So there's never going to be me giving evidence, right, for something that isn't tangible, right? Which God isn't, he's
that's a
not
blunder.
physical, right?
That's your blunder.
So-
That's what I'm saying.
It's my blunder that, like, I'm literally giving you a hypothetical.
Yeah,
You
as
think
to
your
why God
position is
exists.
couched in a hypothetical?
The blunder is that we asked you about the real, and you're talking about the hypothetical.
Yep.
You're discussing a
but
fiction.
you
You're
haven't even
presenting a
let me
fiction
finish.
to us.
You haven't even.
When you run from reality, of course we're going to interrupt you. We're asking about reality, and you're not engaging with that.
And I'm demonstrating that through Aristotelian metaphysics.
you're trying.
And obviously,
We hear
we
you.
don't subscribe to them. So why would you insist?
Wow.
Did he leave?
I think he's
You're
self-destruct.
so-
Oh, wow. Yeah, sorry I was talking over you. I was just, I really thought you were nailing the point, and I wanted to emphasize it. Anti-nerd United Strike Force.
I think we're a little heavy-handed with like the moderation moments a little bit, but we know you're coming from a genuine place with respect to like being to the point.
Yeah, I'm a powder keg, dude.
Well,
Don't take my shit personally, but I am a dick, dude.
No, it's all good. I get it. And I also like I get the give and take here. I just genuinely was trying to get from him like some foundational thing to actually like poke at that was based in reality, like you both said. But he kept saying like he even admitted it's like a hypothetical. So yeah,
Sometimes there's like a different button to be pressed. It's that tact I think is not easily learned. I think it takes a little time.
you're saying don't press the single issue, like let them kind of arrive there, or just give it more space to organically unfold.
Well, I mean, I'm guilty of the same thing, and so in the sense that hey, we're following the chain, right? But at some point, we've hit a block, right? We've gone in circles around 4 or 5 times. Something needs to change if we actually
Right.
want to get them in the gonads where it really hits them, and we're really like in terms of like the cognitive dissonance, really nail the point home with respect to what where their allegiances lie, so to speak.
But how do you
So-
do that if they kind of keep ignoring the request to quantify or clarify their position? I guess.
That's sort of it's sort of like you sort of abandon ship on that front and you just go towards something else.
Yeah, the other
And, like-
measure is to try to learn better rhetorical strategies to corner them logically.
So that whatever
Yeah,
road they go
like,
down is you can follow them down it and
Well, no, you're trying to cut off roads.
right.
Like the ick factor is a common one we took.
Yeah, I love
What's
the
that?
ick factor.
Can you explain that?
So one of my go-tos, like say I talk to a Christian, for example, if a Christian comes at me about morality in the Bible, my go-to
Okay.
is Numbers 31:18 Numbers 31 because it's just a plethora of horribles. It's got genocide and technical ethnocide, infanticide, and child sexual slavery, all baked into one fucking chapter. So
Yeah.
when they want to quibble about like what's moral, where's my grounding, and all that stuff, I make sure they know where they're asking me from. Right? They're asking me from a position of absolute psychopathy. Okay, and they're asking me, how do I justify my morals? So I give them the ick factor of, here's yours. Let me see if I can do
Oh,
better.
got
Because
it.
it
You
takes away
reflect
the
back at them
wiggle
that
room.
theirs are compromised, basically.
Well, the point would be to not give them wiggle room. So if we're quibbling about whether it's right or wrong to steal candy, right? I'm not going to fuck around with candy. I'm going to go straight where it hurts. I'm going to talk about pedophilia or something like that. Like somebody might talk about the problem of evil, and they'll be like, instead of mentioning murder to them, right? Because they'll be like, yeah, I could murder some shit if I, whatever. Be like child rape. Pick child rape instead, because it's a lot harder for someone to try to wiggle around and say they do a horrible thing, because now they're talking about child rape.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's like, there's a verse I like to use a lot, the Deuteronomy 20:21. It's like, these are the laws of Moses, and here's a law that lets you trade women like Pokemon cards.
But that's a judgment about the phrasing of the text, right?
Well,
like when you say trade them like Pokemon, I mean, I get you're being like a little bit facetious and joking, but it's pretty much spot on with what, if you read the text after saying that it's obvious that's what it is.
It says that, yeah.
Well, in this case, yeah. I mean, to be more precise, here's a you capture a young woman, assumably you kill her family, you trim her nails, shave her head, give her a month to get over it, and then you can have sex with her, and then you can take backsies. You can try another one. So you don't have to. You're not committed to that wife. Like you can just say, hey, I didn't.
Y'all are saying like your ammunition is the study of the common positions people have, at least in these particular arguments, with like in regards to moral and ethical quandaries, like just having something to point to that's like, how are you going to argue with me from a moral perspective when your morals are so fucked?
Well, sort of. The idea isn't just to point out that their morals are fucked. It's to back them into a rhetorical corner, right? Because they're trying to talk around issues and stuff. Like they'll say things like, "If I didn't believe in God, I'd be a rapist," or something like that, right? These are the kind of
exactly, yeah.
They'll say,
which is just nonsensical. I think anyone can experience pain and say that's fundamentally not good. And then extrapolate from that a sort of like, at least maybe not a moral framework, but at least like a good versus bad.
Well, I try to take it away from ethics and all that altogether. Like when the topic of morality comes up, I try to talk about biology, right? I start talking about it in the framework of biological utility. I don't even talk like I have rhetoric that points out the ridiculousness of saying that you're amoral until you buy a book at Barnes and Noble, right? That's fucking retarded. Like, how is it that I lack all kinds of moral compass until I go to a philosophy section, buy a book, read it, and now I can moral? It doesn't make any logical sense. It's a biological function. It's my ability to
that's actually more fundamental than the arguments I usually counter with.
That you got to keep it simple like that. Don't overcomplicate philosophy. It complicates itself. If you find those simple, try to like ground everything that you're saying in something simple.
I thought it was simple to say that everyone feels pain and knows that's bad, but I feel like what you're pointing to is even simpler than that. And it's not even, you don't even need to go to like what feels good or doesn't. There's just like an objective,
I argue morality as objective and morals as subjective. Morality being your ability to make a determination of whether you like or dislike a behavior. Morals,
but then how do you counter people who...
Morals, ethics, and codes and stuff like that are examples of conclusions reached with that ability.
Right, they're judgments we make based on foundational,
the ability that I can judge, and then my judgment.
I'm when you mentioned the suffering, the utilitarian, I guess, approach. I don't think it really addresses a lot of their concerns with respect to their insistence that God is the arbiter of what's good and bad, and whether subjectivity is part of the, like, most people who bring up that morals are objective don't even understand the difference between subjectivity and objectivity.
Sure, right.
Yeah. And they make the same mistake with
3% of the people who bring up this argument. I don't know, I'm pulling the number out of my ass, but it's really low. actually understand the distinction before we even can discuss like the merits.
They make the same problem. The mistake they're making with the objective subjective distinction, they make a very similar problem with deductive inductive distinction.
Where they conflate the two, or just don't understand the difference.
They don't understand their function. They perceive deductive reasoning as a superior form of reasoning than inductive.
Oh, right. Yep.
And they view it as superior because you reach absolute certainties in deductive reasoning, and that you reach statistical certainties in inductive reasoning.
That's what I was trying to imply when I kept saying vibes to that guy. It seemed like he was drawing his own conclusions, but not able to identify or even quantify them yeah.
Not a bad point. Just lost on that audience.
Well, and so this is another question that I have in this regard is like, do you guys ever get to the point where you're arguing from a moralistic framework about religion, like in the sense of, there's that one interview where the guy was like, there's no way God exists because how do you rationalize child cancer? If God exists, how the fuck would he let that
if they
happen?
Give you data? They have to say certain things and kind of lock that in.
It's like you're appealing to, you can appeal to the sensibilities of it. Go ahead. I think it's a lot more effective to pull out these verses though, because it's like they think everything in that book is good, and then suddenly they're like, wait a second.
Right, that's what I'm saying. A lot of well, and to your point, anti-nerd, I think a lot of critical thinking ability has been lost in the generations as they pass because it is becoming more of a vibes thing in terms of how people decide.
Part of my rhetoric as an atheist is talking about the process of inculcation, and during inculcation is the time to inject the proper memetics to prime your child for the next stage in life to develop and learn. The better the memetics we instill in our children, the better that they'll develop, and better is a metric of the environment, right? Like how we're suited for the environment. So right now we use K through 12 to get our children up to speed for the environment. And so that's the process of inculcation.
What is the environment in this context? What do you mean?
Well, the accusation I make has to do with like code switching. You're familiar with the term?
Yes.
Right. And so it's like you could have plenty of people who are very well educated in academia studying physics, right? And they believe in God because they've been conditioned so that when they leave their workplace and go to church, they do the code switching. They turn off that special process that they use to determine fact from fiction.
Is that what's happening? Because it seems antithetical
to this
be
environment.
It seems antithetical to be able to have those two. It almost seems like a bipolar perspective. You have to do what you just described. But are you sure that that's what's happening? Because there are enough people in the sciences who have a theological perspective or foundation that it seems so contradictory or hypocritical to the pursuit that they're in that it almost seems irrational.
Well, that's the thing. It's the code switching, right? Your worldview changes.
But is that the only explanation?
Social engagement. It's like speaking a different language. If you look at the MRI scan, someone's brain patterns are completely different, like almost like a schizophrenic. It's a different worldview, so to speak. And so
people can deny an aspect of their foundational perspective on the world to like momentarily abide a different perspective, so that the two can exist in harmony. Like
they don't need to reconcile. Because
why?
They have,
I guess why is the question.
It's a subroutine. It's so. Have you ever read David Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow?
No.
Like a psychologist. Really, really interesting.
Wait, hold on. Actually, say it again. I'm gonna.
It's called Thinking Fast and Slow by I think it's Daniel or David Kahneman. K-A-H.
That seems like a pretty singular title. No, Daniel Kahneman. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And so what he proposes there is a concept where people, like, if you paid attention to every detail in your daily life, you would go insane. So what you do is you make shortcuts, you make subroutines. When someone says, "Hi, how are you?" You're like, "Fine, how are you?" It's an automatic response, right? And so you go through life building these subroutines. A con artist is a specialist in giving bad inputs to get a reaction from your subroutines.
Hey, can I interrupt? Hey, can I interrupt real quick? Sorry, I just joined and I don't know what's going on. Can someone explain to me?
No, that's rude. You could just wait and get
Oh.
context
You're a woman.
naturally.
But I'd rather you
Yeah,
just tell
so
me,
just
like,
sit
it's
there and
really not
shut
that
up and listen
crazy.
through context.
Oh,
The shortest version I can
you're
give
telling
you
me
is
this.
that it's debate instruction about like how to defeat an argument, or at least position yourself ideally to challenge someone's position, but also in the context specifically about theology as it applies to science.
I think we should just keep going. I train of thought.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, con artist, right? Con artist is a specialist in abusing these subroutines. They put in an input.
Can I ask a question though? Because when you brought this up, my initial inquiry was like, is this the subroutine method? Is that something that is maybe like a negative way to exist as a human? Like, is that
it's efficient.
Doesn't that like defeat your humanity to just like operate on a sort of automation system?
No, it saves resources. You spend a lot of power. You have to consume food to. You're like your brain
it's a
consumes the
trade-off.
majority.
Yeah,
consumes
sure.
an insane amount of your nutrient resources. If you were to spend,
Okay, I accept
if you were
that.
to spend all that energy, it would be expensive.
No, all right, I accept that. You can keep going.
Right. Now, con artists have a variety of different methods, but that inculcation that Iggy's mentioning is a facet where like that conditioning, it's like, this is my declaration, but I'm saying that conditioning is identical in nature, right? Giving people these subroutines and conditioning them into like behaving in this way. And so that turning off, right? Saying that it's okay to engage in thoughts and reasoning and accept axioms without doing this process, right? The fact from fiction process, the scientific process of epistemics with respect to physicists who believes in God, right?
I've learned to call that a cognitive panacea.
The distinguishing process or what?
No, so I kind of describe it as a way that you're taught to, whenever you're curious about something, you're taught to think about that proposition as it's God did it, right? So that whenever you think about, how does this function? Well, they trained you, God did it, so that you begin learning that the answer is just God did it, and you stop asking questions. Sort of a training technique.
Conditioning an end of the road to thoughtful.
Yeah, because a panacea is an answer; it's a cure-all, right? And so they've given the child a cognitive panacea for curiosity. So all your curiosity is solved by this one idea. So you just don't learn to look for answers. You don't learn how to develop the skills of information gathering.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of my digest of the inculcation.
Are we talking specifically from also like a debate perspective, or like literally how to confront this in the real world as like the way that I perceive religion as a crutch for people that I know personally in my family and friend groups and things like that? Is this how y'all like deal with that, so to speak, or are you saying this in the context of people coming into this particular voice chat and that, like how to take them down?
Are you talking about the rhetorical techniques?
What I'm saying is, like, if you have people in your life who maybe you find it annoying, or you like want to help like convince them, that God isn't real, would it be the same techniques that you would use here on people that you know personally?
If they approached me, yeah.
Otherwise, you would just leave it alone?
I mean, I will do me and say my stuff. If people want to conflict with me, we can do that. We could sit down and talk. But like in general parlance, I don't get political or philosophical with people in general public. But if they put it in my face, if they cross the line first, yeah, then there ain't no goddamn line, right? It's just that's all that is.
The reason I ask is because I feel like not a lot of people have the tools outside of the spaces that are dedicated to these conversations to even have them in the first place. Kind of what you were saying, Mogi, where people don't know the difference between subjective versus objective. And it's just like, you know, I would like to have more of these conversations in real life, but so many people are just going on vibes and things like that.
Well,
That
it's
they,
a skill
Have you-
set, though. Like, I remember taking a technical and scientific writing class, and I'll never forget this kid. He's a big Native American guy. And, you know, while we're just sitting around as students talking, this dude had no problem. He was quiet, whatever, but he would converse. We'd all be sitting in, like, sort of like a communal setting, all just group chatting, right? Well, we had to give a speech one day, and this fucking guy couldn't say a single fucking word. All that happened, the environmental shift, is we went from laissez-faire attitude to directional sitting. Okay, we could sit and look in any direction, to now we're all kind of facing forward and giving speeches. But it's the same group of people. Nobody came in, but the moment the eyes were on him, he literally could not speak a single fucking word. He just started panicking, dude. Fucking leaking, right? All it takes is him to do that 2 or 3 more times or whatever, get out a few sentences, you know, and that's all it took. It just took a few times for him to just try. But he couldn't do it. He didn't know what to do. He was just in a full shock panic because everybody's looking at him now. But it's like every time you spoke, prior to you having to give your speech, everyone was looking at you, right? You were saying something, and then the whole class looking at you and just paying attention. But he didn't have that cognitive skill set, and some kind of frame shift happened in his mind, and he just went into full panic, deer in headlights, bro.
I mean, that's relatable though, right? Like, kind of acknowledging your position suddenly in the moment and realizing a lot more people, like there's more pressure than you realized initially. Like maybe you were having a relaxed conversation, then suddenly realized there was more weight or magnitude to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say here is like people may be more comfortable in this Discord setting and be able to think easily.
Oh, I see what you mean. I got you.
Then they go outside and they're just, you know, they're the public now and it's visceral and
right.
They get overwhelmed with their sensory, and it slows down their higher cognitive process.
I think another thing, maybe to make them not feel so defensive, is to kind of approach it with the same deference you would for unsolicited advice at the gym, for example, right? You're saying, hey, would you be open to feedback? Would you be open to a conversation?
Right, because if you come with a sword, they're going to put up their shield.
Well, you just say, hey, I've learned you have this belief. Would you like to have a conversation where I might like ask you where this is coming from, or kind of like maybe
right. No,
examine that in depth.
What I'm saying, the opposite of that would be to just like attack somebody. And obviously when you attack somebody or their beliefs, they're going to become defensive. Like it's just an instinctual thing. Like if I have a belief system and it gets attacked, I'm going to want to either defend the position or align myself as if the position was me and then feel personally attacked. Whereas if you did what you said, it's like offering, it's less aggressive, I guess.
Yeah, somewhat. I think you're already doing the right thing with the earnest listening, right? Find their take, find where they're coming from, somewhat.
I watch a lot of these debates, and what strikes me is that like at the Jubilee shit, especially, there are just so many people who, like you said, don't have the tool set, and it's not even like they didn't do their research. It's they can't like almost think for themselves, or there's so many like regurgitating sponges in my experience of like people who just absorb what kind of makes them feel good or aligns with their, you know, perspective in life. I'm really not trying to be judgmental and apply like derogatory language, but like a lot of stupid people will just like, you know, have like hate in their heart and just reflect that back out, because a lot of hateful people will speak to that hate and they'll absorb their language and then regurgitate it without processing it themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Now that you mentioned something like emanating or like, what is it, contagious contempt, I guess? Is that what you're describing?
It's sort of parody. It's just like parodying without thought.
It's a little different.
It's like,
but it's
like someone speaking to something that you feel fundamentally and then repeating it back without processing it yourself or understanding what it really means.
It's like, have you gone through a process where you like read a book and then you learn new words just through osmosis, just through
Sure,
contact.
yeah, of course, yeah, and didn't look up the definition, but like learned it and then right, yeah.
I feel like I feel like a lot of the reliance on some of this knowledge about reality is learned in a very similar manner. With the types of people that we speak to.
Sort of
And
picking it up.
so, I mean, I'm very pedantic and specific and detail oriented, just because of how much I guess value the building blocks, right? Having a good foundation, just to make sure
Okay.
that I don't get lost when or just so I have firm footing, really. Not really any more.
That's a
than that.
tool for cornering, like we were talking about earlier. Cornering your
Having
opponent.
solid footing.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
making sure you're not ambiguous so that they can't wiggle around with your definition.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, knowing where they can step as well, if that's something that we're trying to agree on, right? We're trying to get to the consequences of what we're stating.
Do y'all abide Sun Tzu's principle of like know the enemy and like study it?
I mean, they're vague
And the-
platitudes. Did you know there's 3 other art of wars?
Well, I just mean the yes, and I know the translations are also kind of all over the map, but I just was curious if
Which ones do you know of?
the one that I have, I think, is the most distilled and like Americanized version.
Are you talking about translations? No, I'm talking about different books called titled The Art of War,
Oh,
written by
that
different
aren't
authors.
all by Sun Tzu. There's other.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
There's
No,
one
then no.
by Machiavelli,
Oh, hold on. Okay.
and there's one
What's
by
the other one?
Napoleon.
Oh shit! No, really?
I think I can't remember another one. Maybe it's just those 2 in addition.
Napoleon's Art of War. Holy shit! Okay. Wow.
So, sequels. They read Sun Tzu.
Well, the reason I asked is because I thought that he made a very good point about just that I don't think a lot of people do in the modern, at least American political discourse is actually spend time learning what the other person really feels and trying to understand where they're coming from. Whether or not it's to empathize with their position, but to at least be able to attack it more with more clarity.
I think
Because
the sociology term is a little, mantra is a little better, which is you are only aware of yourself as you are aware of your surroundings.
sure, and so I guess I'm just asking if that's something y'all value in terms of like when you think about this argument in particular about saying, God isn't real, prove me wrong. Have you researched all the arguments on the other side that would say God is real? Like, do you spend time looking at the other person's perspective?
That's all I
okay.
do.
Since we're having the earnest conversation, my argument is facetious. Let me post the argument, I guess, in the side chat. That kind of.
What do you mean your argument is facetious? And anti-nerd, I'm curious.
My Gnostic atheism position.
Yeah, I'm an atheist, not an atheist.
What's that? What's the difference?
Well, I have an argument in side chat and several atheistic assertions.
I feel like I'm agnostic because I can't prove either one, but I'm more atheist if he cornered me and asked me like really.
Well, that's
I would
because
say
of
I'm an
your
atheist.
inculcation. You've been taught that kind of shit's binary.
Well, what I mean by atheist though for me is that I don't believe in any deities, but at the same time I do think there's some impossible.
Anything, though.
Well, I'm just saying there's some impossible to describe higher power that I don't know how to quantify that, but I've never had any evidence that there's a being or entity or whatever that's.
Yeah, but as an atheist, everything that you're saying is cognitively vapid. It has no epistemic foundation. It's just words, semantic value. It has semantic, like you're pulling from your lexicon of feelings, but you're not actually appealing to anything of ontos.
You don't think it has a direct, like transitory application in terms of like words translate to a reality that I'm describing?
Well,
you're saying it's all like superfluous?
What I'm saying you're describing is part of a programming of using merely semantics to come to an understanding of a thing of ontos, right? Something that has ontology, and you're conflating your semantic coherence with epistemic coherence. Epistemic coherence is your understanding of what you observed or came to understand through your experience of the ontology. That's what
So then let me,
epistemology is.
yeah, let me peel it back further and say my personal experience is such that I have no obvious evidence or experience of a higher power or being. And I also,
Well, that's vapid, though. That contains no epistemological content.
that's a judgment framework.
No,
Yeah,
it's you just said a thing you didn't do.
Explain this to me. Genuinely, I'm confused.
Why would you describe yourself by things you're not?
Okay. I'm struggling. Hang on. Give me a
so
second. here.
remember how you were saying earlier about asking me if I think we can define things in reality?
Yes.
So I think there's two ways to define words. There can be an internally consistent model of the understanding of a word. And that's what I'm referring to as semantic understanding, semantic meaning, and semantic value. Right? Those kind of words are referring to an internal understanding of a word. Then there are descriptive definitions of extants, things that exist, things that have ontology. When it comes to those things, words aren't where we get the meaning of them from. The meaning of a beaver does not come from the definition a large rodent of the genus Castor, having sharp incisors, webbed hind feet, and a flattened tail noted for its ability to dam streams and rivers. Because look at it this way. I said webbed hind feet. So is webbed unique to a beaver? No, webbed is a property of any animal, really, right? And lots of different animals. Ducks, lizards, birds, all kinds of animals have webbed. Feet, hind. These are just words we apply from a lexicon, right? It's just a hodgepodge. Your lexicon is just basically all the words you know, right? All the words inside your brain is your vernacular. The words you use is your vernacular. So you have a set of words that you could potentially draw from. That's about 1 million words. Now, you only know probably like some fraction of those words and only use an even smaller, right? So when we describe the beaver, we already had a set of properties that we could just kind of smush around and reference something, right? But when we're talking about the description of a beaver, it isn't good enough that semantically we just picked a bunch of properties and landed on something. What we did is we observed the beaver and we made characteristic assessments and we noted characteristics about the beaver that were different than the other animals that we noted. So when we saw its tail, we pulled from our lexicon the notion of tail and flat, right? And we used the notion of tail and flat to reference the meaning. And the meaning is the tail, is the flatness and the tailness of the object that we're describing. We're getting the meaning of the definition from the beaver. So the beaver is technically the meaning itself, and our experience is our relationship with that beaver. And then we appeal to our lexicon to describe it so that I can tell you a beaver is a whatever, right? I'm using this to communicate with you, but our communication is not directly ontology. That's epistemology. You see what I'm saying?
But you're basically saying our defined reality can only go so far as our experiential reality, and beyond that,
in our communication, yes, the way we're using language, that's true.
Right.
We define the object based on our perceptions. Our perceptions is what makes our definition meaningful when we're describing those objects. That our observations aren't necessarily required to describe things that are not objective.
When do you think we stray from this position in terms of conversation or debate?
When we lack a referent, when we're making a statement about a referent absent the referent.
So like what the hypothetical that dude just kept proposing before he left.
I don't remember it. What was his hypothetical?
My point is that he had nothing to point to. It was superfluous.
Well, yeah,
It was
in that situation, whenever there's nothing to indicate and they're making a statement that indicates, I say that statement is a non sequitur. Because this is sort of, have you ever heard of the correspondence theory of truth?
Say it again.
The correspondence theory of truth.
No.
It says that a statement is said to be true if it corresponds to the state of affairs.
Oh, it's a logical fallacy.
No, it's not a logical fallacy. It's a theory of truth. What makes
It's
something
a standard
true?
of
It
acceptance.
sounds like a logical fallacy. It sounds like one of those, like appeal to
Like an
a higher authority
equivocation.
type things. Yeah, yeah.
It's
So-
not. It's just a theory of truth.
You get what I'm saying though? Like it's
An
just,
An alternative standard of acceptance would be the principle of sufficient
hold
reasoning.
on, I googled it. Let me corresponds to theory is the truth that says.
There's also coherence theory of truth as well.
Oh, so this is actually a logical framework, not a fallacy.
It's a truth framework. It's
Okay.
what you think what makes something true.
I got it.
So
got
what
it.
I
Yep.
think makes something true is when a statement conforms to the state of affairs. The more it conforms to
data.
the state of affairs, the more accurate I would say it is. And the
Sure.
less accurate.
Sure. That's why I kept pushing this dude to give data. Like I agree with you completely. I don't even
Right,
know.
getting-
Is that debated?
So think
is this
about
debated?
it this way. Think about a logic kind of in your brain, kind of model what I'm about to say here. So because you got to think a little bit backwards. So if truth is to be a statement that conforms with the state of affairs, then the statement being the claim, something has something property. X has Y property, right? So X having Y property is the statement. So if correspondence is to be addressed here, what is the state of affairs? For the example I used before, it's the beaver. The beaver's the state of affairs. So when we look at the statement that a beaver is a large rodent of the genus Castor having sharpened incisors, webbed hind feet, yada yada, what makes that definition true is that it conforms to the state of affairs. The beaver, right? You get that? I mean, it seems trivial, but it's backwards.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It again seems like it's an extrapolated framework from our own lived experience and not necessarily.
That's the only thing we can do.
Like, what is that?
That's the only non-arbitrary thing that we can do is begin with experience.
Right, exactly. And I was just going to say, even the word objective,
and then go into shared interrelated experience.
Right, and even the word objective is like a word we made up.
So that when I tell you a beaver's got a flattened tail, you can make the observation for yourself and then determine if my statement's true, if my statement conforms to the state of affairs, which is the nature of the beaver. So absent the beaver, then the statement, the beaver has a flat tail, that's a non sequitur, because it would only follow from the observation of the beaver. Absent the beaver, the statement about the beaver doesn't follow, right? So it's a non sequitur.
I guess, but again, so it's a metaphor broadly. What you're with the beaver.
No, it's an example, not a metaphor.
But isn't it applicable to the situation that we've been talking about in terms of like the beaver represents? God, what would the beaver represent?
Well, I mean, it would be a stand-in for God, right? Let's say, for example, let's say we're saying God's blue, right?
Sure.
We'd say a beaver's brown. Let's say we say God's blue, but we're not making an observation of God, right? Then the statement "it's blue" is logically incoherent because it doesn't follow from the observation. There is no observation. So the statement doesn't follow the observation. But the statement is an observational statement. That statement only makes sense upon observation. It's like saying it's 37 kilograms. And then someone says, well, did you weigh it? And I say, no, it's not weighable. Like, what? How the fuck is it 37? How is a thing blue if you didn't see it? So it just doesn't logically follow that God is blue if I can't perceive blue. It's a non sequitur. And if you buy into that logic, you got a problem. Because the statement God is not blue is also a non sequitur. So it's both of those statements are not true. It's not true that God is blue, and it's not true that God is not blue. So that's directly a contradiction.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I got some link in the side chat.
Okay.
If if you want to look up the correspondence theory of truth in either of those two, and it's gonna be like maybe 5
So
to 8
y'all aren't
pages.
just approaching this like a casual, debate me about God. You're really dug into the sort of mechanics of debate and how
The
to.
epistemics.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You just like to mean what we say.
No, of course, and I appreciate this. I've sort of intuited my way into these positions. Like, I watch a lot of people debate, and I sort of like extrapolate how I feel about what they're doing, but I've not been able to define these terms. So I appreciate you both for giving me language to sort of identify my position in
The fancy jargon's not
foundations of
required.
thought, so to speak. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
The fancy jargon is not required, but yeah, it can be handy in the situations where it's
Well, I
like
think
it's like you have an idea, you want to see what other people with the same idea have come across, right?
Of course, but I also want to understand, if there are explanations to explain the sort of tenets of thought and the ways to approach these conversations. Again, a lot of it's been intuitive for me, and I feel like I have a good brain for that, but I've not known necessarily the definitional aspects of what I'm doing or what someone else is doing to quantify or address it.
I mean, there's like, on one hand, there's the quality of your reasoning, but on the other hand, there's
And that's the thing I'm good at, by the way.
all the ways that people like have terms of engagement in society, and that's gonna change, and that's gonna be different for all sorts of people in different cultures. So the answer to that is always going to be fluid, amorphous, and just it'd be more of a journey than a destination.
And frustrating as well, in my
Pragmatically
opinion,
speaking.
at least in my experience. Getting to know like other people's, I hear what you're saying, and I'm just saying like sometimes you realize there's a dead end and you can't actually communicate because
Well, know your audience, right? For some, like
Sure.
some of these strategies work for some types of people, and it's like not what is it? There are things in common that work for some audiences.
But would you agree there are some people you just kind of can't talk to?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or you could just talk to them all day and it'll just go in one ear and out the fucking other one.
We have video evidence of this.
Yeah. Most
Yeah.
people I can't talk to.
This is why I came here, by the way. I was more interested to see if someone would come in and actually have a solid position about how to prove that God is real. It would be very interesting to me to hear someone try to explain evidence of why that were the case. I'm kind of like
guess,
Alex O'Connor in a little bit. Like I
okay.
want the evidence. I want to do the study. I want to find out why people think God is not real. So that because I'm not necessarily saying myself he's not, or it's not. What I'm saying is I don't have any fucking evidence that he
Well,
is. It is.
think about
It's just
it.
interesting because it's square peg in a round hole. But go ahead again.
Think about it linguistically. Like their statement is there is a God, right? So there is a reference to location. So think about this linguistically. If they're saying there is, so they're saying location manifestation.
Right.
So when we're in like what is it about middle school, elementary? I don't know when we learn it, but did you learn about the who, what, when, where, why, and how?
Sure. Yeah.
So for every there, there's a where. There is no such thing as a there without a where. That's
You're saying if they posit God exists, they have to point to where.
Well, I'm saying analyze this linguistically. If they're using the word there, then location is required. If location's not provided, then the statement's incoherent. Just think about it linguistically. You don't really have to get super deep in.
Gotcha. The framework, yeah.
Right. Because you're just remember they're knuckle draggers. These people are high level.
Right, I know. Yeah.
When you're talking to them at random. Now there are very sophisticated people, but they're manipulators. But typically, you could just kind of knuckle drag your way through the conversation with the Socratic method, right? When they say there is a God, you could say there is no God, and you'd be pointing at the floor. Just point at the floor, right? Point at the floor and say there is no God, and then say, is that wrong? Is there a God right there? Is that true? There is no God. This is how we're using it linguistically because you got to get them to correct their language. When you over demand that they provide a where, they eventually gas out and be like, all right, well, somewhere there's a God, right? And they'll start shifting the meaning. They'll actually start saying the words they actually mean. They didn't mean there is a God. They just mean they have a general vague feeling that it would suck real bad if they died and ceased to exist. That's generally what they're trying to say. But they've been trained to say things like there is a God, which it requires enormous epistemological justification, right? I mean, saying there absent a location is just ridiculous. So,
And that it's as simple as just pointing that out to them for you to say your argument has no weight. Like,
well, it just makes
literally
no sense, right?
Right,
It's
it
not that it
stops right
doesn't,
there.
right? Right there, and you got to correct the statement. And then when they realize they do got to correct the statement, and then they're starting to have to pick words like somewhere, right? They start losing confidence. Their confidence goes down because they're having to adjust linguistically, and they start seeing that they're using more and more ambiguous words. And when my
feel like it
whole
teaches them in the
argument
moment
is
of
that
being
they've
confronted.
over-ambiguated the concept, the more
Right.
I can push their brain that they're just being vague and ambiguous, and that it's just general feelings, the more it makes them feel that condition.
And I feel like you're also teaching them in real time that the assertions that they have theologically are not as sound.
Well, they don't carry any epistemic weight.
And that's what I mean, is that you're kind of cracking their framework in a way that forces them to contend with that in real time, and almost I don't know, like, just fractures the framework such that there is no more foundation. Like, if what you're saying is that confronting the framework itself sort of removes the confidence or the structural backing of the framework, then I would totally agree with you. I think that what you're describing is literally taking out the legs from someone underneath them, and then like asking them to stand back up, and but doing so with the same framework that they had before, but they can't because it's flimsy.
Well, this is why people, like especially atheists, call Igtheism or Ignosticism the conversation killer. And I understand what they're saying because it does shut down certain conversation, but I think that's where the conversation begins. I think when we all step back and we realize we don't know what we're talking about, we could start asking the correct questions about what are we talking about.
Fucking A. Yeah, I agree with you. But again, like, most people don't want to get that far because they're so caught up in the vibes of the thing. Like, they identify, most people are so married to their position that the position itself almost identifies the person. And to attack the position is to attack the person. And then they become so defensive that they're not even thinking clearly.
Spaghetti. It's just what your hopes and dreams are is just not how humans work. Remember the subroutines thing I talked about earlier?
No. Well, I mean, if you're saying that I wish people were more had more of a capability to have these conversations, you're right. I'm not necessarily. Wait, well, how come what I just said led you to like target me specifically? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not being defensive. I'm just curious. Like, how come what I just said translated to you thinking something about me personally?
Well, it's because of your approach, right? You're looking at, hey, I'm going into these conversations looking for someone to make the constructive argument and make the step-by-step case for why and how they believe what they believe.
Isn't that what anyone hopes from this kind of discourse?
I want to unfuck people's brains, dude.
It's what we ask for.
Well, okay.
But it's not what we're getting. And to expect that's what you're going to get from the get-go, I think
just want it. I don't know if I expect it, but I hear you.
Would be a disservice. Yeah, just consider it be a happy accident if it does occur.
What do you want from this in this God ain't real debate personally? And I mean
I want people to have the tools to distinguish fact from fiction and to use
You've definitely
them
given me some. I appreciate that. But is that the ultimate goal? Is it, you're not like
well, people vote and they vote without that tool.
But do you get a personal satisfaction out of
well, giving people that tool and then my life being better for it? Yeah. I do get satisfaction from my life improving.
Yeah, that's why we gather
here.
This is our hobby.
That tool.
Or one of our hobbies.
I mean, I would agree with you. I would have the same satisfaction.
It's a dirty job, though. It's like corpse removal.
But
This is community service.
it's that anything worthwhile is difficult. I mean, to convince someone of something, especially to give them like new information that makes them feel uncertain about their own foundations. I feel like that is a hard job. And
I usually save those mantras for like personal enrichment rather than like.
Are y'all
in
trying to
an
shepherd
environment.
people to an enlightenment position,
Well-
though, or are you just trying to kind of like make them reflect in a way that they can go fuck off and do that them by themselves?
Igtheism's it's a twofer, right? You use a Socratic approach while using Igtheism to kind of go inside their brain. So you use it as a weapon, right? To get through their defenses, get it in there. But what you're showing them is at the exact same time, you're giving them the tools, right? You're giving them the tools to go back out, go in their own brain, root around, figure out what's fucked up from a Socratic approach. Don't Socratic approach other people. Do it to yourself. You've got unfettered access to the inside of the annals of your own brain, right?
Sure.
You just go in there, figure out what you know is foundational, get rid of the rest. And those are the tools for like success in the cognitive efforts, right? Trying to figure things out, having good epistemics, right?
Do you think most people have this capacity for reflection after encountering people like you to give those tools?
I'm a regular Joe. I've just been doing this for a long time. So if I'm coming off as intelligent, it's because I'm wise, if anything. I'm not a very intelligent person. I've just been doing it a lot and figured out the right memes, I feel. So yeah, dude, I take a very knuckle dragger approach. If you step back and listen to what I'm fucking saying, I'm talking about going back to the basics.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, food needs to be digestible.
I get that too. I'm not trying to be like overcomplicated. I certainly am, especially not with language.
Well, it's
But
just
see,
it's a key focus of ours, right? For things to be digestible.
Yeah, because dude, for one, Igtheism and first understanding Igtheism is a very convoluted process. But once you kind of get the frame locked in, it just makes sense. It's just one of those philosophies that's just like, you've got all these barriers keeping you from understanding it. And that's why I say a Socratic approach. Like,
I feel
go
like
in there and figure
atheism
out
requires.
What?
I feel like atheism requires the least explanation, though.
I'm not saying atheism.
Oh.
I'm saying Igtheism.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
It's in the side chat. I have arguments. If you go in the side chat and you scroll to the top, you'll see an argument for Igtheism, and then you'll see my Igtheist assertion.
I have other arguments.
It said you're not accepting friend request anti-nerd. Would you add me? You don't have to. I would just love to talk to you about this another time. Or continue.
I'm always in this chat room, dude. You're live right now on YouTube. So.
That's true. I'll definitely be in here again. You know how it is, though. Sometimes people like dominate the space and like are just here to troll and bullshit. So I added YouTube Mogi, but because I actually found this to be one of the most valuable conversations I've had in politics.
This is our personal sanctum, dude. So we're always right here. Well, I mean, I am. These guys are most of the time. So.
And this is the common conversation is anti, like, or not anti-God, but like come try and provide evidence that God is. What's the closest someone's done to convincing either of y'all of anything, if anything?
I mean, all the people before me that taught me how to get to Igtheism.
I mean,
there's no one who's come in here and made a good case.
Case for what? The existence of God?
For God, yeah.
Dude, there are gods that exist, and atheist has no problem admitting a God exists, dude.
If I showed you a God that exists in reality, would you stop being an atheist?
I think so, yeah. Isn't that the whole point?
Remember, it's a linguistic philosophy.
Do you accept CNBC, ABC News, New York Post?
Well, are we having a semantic argument or
no,
like
epistemic?
No, I'm providing
it's not semantic.
Okay, hold on. I feel like y'all are testing me. So hold on. You're asking me the question of if you presented me with evidence of a God, would I abandon my atheistic framework? Yes, I would.
Like how many gods can
your follow-up question is to mention CNBC, and I'm just like, I don't understand the correlation.
Is there a news source?
They would be, yeah.
Okay.
Establishing credibility.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
You
They're
can take backseat. You're allowed to take backseat.
no. Here's what I'll say about the news. Manufacturing consent, the post Cold War media, global media is very.
No, just you're overthinking it. Just take a look.
No,
We're
no.
cool.
Well, I just want
You
to say
can
my
take
position,
backseats.
so you can push back or do whatever.
Yeah,
I
take
don't think
backseats
that-
allowed. Go
I
ahead.
don't trust the media. Let's just say that I
You're
don't trust the media.
overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Fucking
how-
shit, dude.
Take backseats allowed.
How am I okay? But how am I overthinking it?
Oh, just look in the side chat. We
Yeah,
got you
look at
got.
the side chat.
Man named God settles lawsuit with credit agency. What the fuck?
That's God.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion have affirmed the existence of a God in
What?
reality.
Yeah.
Are we having a semantic argument that I'm not?
That's not
like,
semantics.
Yeah, in mind and credit.
This
But
isn't
is this
semantics.
his prayers have been answered. Is this real?
What is the requirement for ontology?
Real quick though, is this real or is this a troll?
We're
or is
not
this like
trolling.
The Onion?
There is
These
no
are real
troll.
This
articles.
article that I'm reading. This is
Yeah,
a real.
it is
ABC News
real.
article.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well then, okay. Give me, dude. I'm in good faith. Just give me a second to like absorb this. Brooklyn
It's
named
just a
John
dude
Battle.
is named God. His name is
Okay.
God.
Okay.
It's just a guy.
He's 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the time, he had decent credit. Just a dude named God. That's it. Just a dude named
Okay.
God. His name is G-O-D. That's his name.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's God.
Well, then we are having a semantic argument.
No, this
because
is
what I'm saying-
epistemic. This is
what I'm-
epistemic.
But what
Quit.
I'm asking
Stop.
about,
Spaghetti, stop. If you accuse me one more time of gaslighting you, I'm going to get real fucking triggered. I'm not gaslighting
I'm not
you.
trying to
I'm
do
telling
that.
I'm spaghetti. I'm telling you right fucking now. The last time. I am not talking about semantics. I am referring to epistemics.
I've got a formal syllogism. A little. If you scroll
Maybe
up a little
my
bit,
understanding of the definitions of
Spaghetti.
those words is the problem. But what I'm understanding
scroll,
is that
scroll up a little bit. There's a syllogism in here.
isn't there a difference between a guy named God and God as
God,
an
dude,
entity?
why are you getting obstinate, man? This is getting fucking annoying, man.
Yeah, spaghetti. This is really relevant. There's an
Okay,
argument.
does-
I have a
give
formal
me-
argument just so we can dispel the notion right now.
I can't tell if y'all are trolling me
Dude,
now.
do you know what obstinance means?
No.
It means you're being difficult.
Okay, I'm not trying to be. I'm just
Stop
asking.
it
Are
then.
we
Stop
talking
it.
about
Shut up.
God?
Shut up. You ask that question again, I'm banning you from my room. Ask it. Ask it, motherfucker. Ask it. Ask that motherfucking question again. Go ahead. Say it. Say it, dude.
Oh, I feel as fuck, bro.
I've heard you
Fuck
say it
down.
like 9 fucking times now. I don't need you to fucking say it. And if you treat me like I'm a fucking retard one more time and repeat that goddamn
No, I
question,
think you're really
fucking
smart.
banned. Yeah, you're fucking banned if you repeat that goddamn question.
Okay.
So spaghetti, relevant to what you're asking.
Yeah.
Scroll up a little bit. So I have two arguments just above what I posted earlier.
Which
The
article?
the bottom argument is the,
The
one
bottom
I'm
one?
referring to. P1, P2, D1,
The,
C1.
the New York Post one?
No, argument. So this is just the text. So scroll up. Ignore that. I'll just delete it. I'll just delete the messages. Just focus on the argument on the bottom there.
Historically,
This
well
one. This one at the
accepted
bottom.
terms. Okay.
So P1's a little. It's got a lot of words in it. We can unpack that for you. You want to?
Are you guys being rude to me on purpose, or like?
Yeah, I fucking warned you. I clearly fucking stipulated. You deaf sack of shit.
You could just say, no, I don't need to unpack that. It's cool.
Dude, ain't nobody in this room fucking with you, man. If you can't take the conversation seriously from here on out, you're getting your ban, dude. I'm done with you fucking around. You had your lulls. We're at the end of the fucking road. So, dude, I swear to fuck, you giggle, you even fart in a fucking laughy fucking way, dude. I'm triggered, man. You triggered me. I tried to warn you. I tried saying it at first. You didn't take me seriously. Now I'm fucking muting you. I threatened to ban you, but I'm giving you this is your last fucking chance, dude. Swear to fuck, we've been talking to you for however long. You can play it back on the fucking recording, and you can ask your dumb cocksucking fucking self if we're fucking with you. This whole goddamn time is fucking recorded, you fucking retard. So you play it back for your dumbass self and ask you if we're fucking playing. You can listen to my fucking tone and you can ask yourself if I'm fucking with you. I ain't trolling you. I don't fucking like you. I can't fucking stand you. You're a human. I fucking hate your goddamn guts. I'm not here to joke with you. I'm not here to like you. We're never going to be fucking friends. I'm not going to friend you on Discord. Fuck you. I don't give a shit about you. Never did, never fucking will. That's our relationship. I am not here jerking your fucking chain. You're jerking my fucking chain. You do it one more time, I'm going to bust on your fucking mouth, bitch. Fuck you. You understand our relationship, spaghetti?
Yes, sir.
Fuck you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You can shove that apology up your fucking ass. I don't give a fucking shit about you.
So P1 here. Are you cool with P1?
God, it claims been made about scrutiny or criteria upon. I mean, it makes sense, yeah.
You cool with P2?
I'm not sure I understand P2. Existing things like does that refer to what people have decided are like when someone says Jesus looks like appeared in their toast or something?
No, let's
like,
say the sun. Let's say the sun.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So objects that people have proclaimed have godly status. Okay. Atheism is a rejection of God or God's existing. Yes. Okay. I get it. Got it. I'm good with P1, P2, D1, and C1.
Right.
And anti-nerd, I apologize.
Dude, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
You're having a feeling, not me.
I just want to be respectful.
To clarify my philosophical position with regards to the Gnostic atheism, that's basically designed to be presup poison. I don't know if you're familiar with presup arguments.
Like a presupposition?
Well, it's a specific type of argumentation style Christians bring forth.
Not in the context of Christians, but in a general sense of debate, yes.
The argument goes like this. If knowledge, therefore God. Knowledge, therefore God. That's their argument.
That sounds circular.
No, it's not circular. That's modus ponens. It's a valid, what is it? Valid inference in philosophical jargon.
But isn't it contradictory to your own philosophical framework?
Not Igtheism.
Well, I don't agree to premise one.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, he's saying he doesn't agree to the principle of P1.
So,
like, that's not sufficient. I say P1 is insufficient for me to even give a shit about it. You're just saying people believe stuff and point it at things.
right.
So premise one is offered without justification, hence the presupposition.
You're like, you're coming in like 6 years after the fact, or 6,000 years after the fact, when people had already been considering, the Son of God.
Right.
It is considered a God. And epistemically, we would ask why. What about the Son makes it a God? We're still confused about what makes it a God. But ontologically, since we're referencing it epistemologically, we've established ontology. It's real. We don't know why it's a God. I don't know why it's a God. The only reason I'm even calling the Son a God is because someone said it was a God. But that's always the case. 100% of the time, all gods are merely gods because we point at them and call them or dub them or proclaim them as such. That's all we're doing.
That's why I thought it was circular logic, because we're basically describing the thing as the thing.
That's tautology, not circular.
Okay. Say it again, tautology?
Yeah, it's a tautology. So like the sun is a star. Our star is soul. Soul is a ball of fire, right? These are tautologies. They all mean the same thing.
We're saying the same thing twice using different words. Yeah, okay, yeah. Then that's exactly what I'm saying.
But that's not fallacious though. That's not circular reasoning.
No, I agree with you. And now that I understand what it is, but what I'm saying isn't that like inherently flawed reasoning?
No. There's no flaw here yet. Like I said, there's no problem with this assertion. The problem is that epistemically we're asking the question, what makes the Son a God? Is it the plasma? Is it its size? Is it its temperature? What about the nature of the
Got
sun
it.
are people
Okay.
saying is God?
Right.
Now,
Okay.
for like Egyptians, it was like that he fought the night god and whatever fucking stupid shit, right? And you look at the sun and you're like, well, I don't see that. So you disagree epistemically. That's it. You have an epistemic disagreement, not a semantic disagreement. You have an epistemic disagreement. There is an ontology. Both you and the person who worships Ra both agree to the ontology of Ra, aka the sun, but you have different epistemic models to explain the ontology. It's not like the people in ancient Egypt didn't have evidence of the existence of Ra. It was there every fucking day. It was the day, right? That's Ra. This is why I said it's not semantics, it's epistemics. You believe in the existence of the sun.
That's my just being a little bit dumb, like not knowing these words and the way to quantify the conversation that we're having. So I appreciate again the
Don't get derailed on that. I'm just saying.
No. Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, I got you. I understand now.
This is us discussing the epistemic understanding we have of the sun, and
Got
we're
it.
only giving epistemic pushback to the people of Egypt. We're just giving epistemic pushback. We're not giving ontologic pushback. We're not saying Ra is not real. That's not what we're saying to the ancient Egyptians. We're saying you're wrong about Ra. That's what we're saying about the Egyptians. You're wrong about Ra, but we agree Ra exists.
Kind of like Jesus existed, but he wasn't the Son of God.
No, there's actually no historical evidence of Jesus other than the stuff we already know about. I'm a mythicist. We could quibble about that for probably hours. If you're not, don't really want to get derailed into it, but I would argue no, it's not. Because it's not like Jesus shows up every fucking day and we all agree to the ontological status of Jesus. If you disagree to the ontological status of Ra, you're retarded. That's what that means. You're retarded. If you don't agree
because
Ra
you're saying
exists,
there's more evidence of Ra than Jesus.
100%. You see Ra every fucking
Got
day.
it. Yeah.
It's
It's
the
the
day.
sun. It's the sun. Yeah.
You just disagree with why they're calling it Ra. It's not. It doesn't give a shit about you. It's not fighting a night god.
I thought a lot of the gods were based on the sun, though, and that there was a documentary that demonstrated that most modern religions were kind of theologically based on the sun cycles and seasons and things
more
like
like
that.
nature, but yeah, sun takes prominence in a lot of religions as like the head, because I mean it's the shit, right? It's the sun,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's impertinent as to whether it exists. Kim Jong Un is told, we've been told he never poops. They believe most of the people in North Korea believe Kim Jong Un never poops.
Not a thing they really believe, right? Like that was a joke in a movie. Like
that's the claim.
I
Seriously.
mean, propaganda is real and it affects people for sure, but do we really think that the North Korean people are that heavily propagandized
I mean,
that
you
they
could
would
go
think
ask
someone
them.
like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just asking y'all. I guess I think that's a far-fetched notion, but I am also open to it
Well,
being
the
possible.
question is that sure you don't believe he never poops, but does Kim Jong Un exist?
Yes.
So here's something about something that you don't believe, but the thing itself has ontology, much like the sun, right?
Sure. But you're asking if the modern person could abide such a preposterous notion.
Well, they don't
Well,
have to.
again, it's a question of attribution here. You're contesting what's being attributed rather than whether the thing exists or not, which
Right.
is not. Yeah, you're not doing the process.
Atheism isn't.
You've touched. You've code switched. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going too deep into the layers of like deciding whether people should or shouldn't believe it because they should be smarter than that.
Well,
Is what you're saying.
a lot
I
of
should back
people-
up from that and not even go that far.
A lot of people get tripped up on what even theism and atheism is because we never really finish the sentence. We almost never finish the sentence. Theism is the belief
What do you mean by
in the
that?
existence, right? So we often say theism is the belief in God. Atheism is the lack of belief in God. That's typically what you hear, right? But that's not the whole sentence. This whole sentence is theism is the belief in the existence of God. Atheism is the lack of belief in the existence of God. For example, atheism is not the lack of belief in God being fat, right? That's not what or God not being worshipable, right? That's not what atheism's about. Atheism only pertains to existence, ontological status. That's it. Does God
Okay.
have ontological status? The atheist is saying no every single time. No matter what God you hold up and show them, they're going to say, nope, that God doesn't exist. Every single God, 100% of the time, the atheist has to answer the question of God's ontology as no, because that's their declaration. So when you're starting to see from the Igtheist perspective that some deities exist, some gods actually exist. Now, we push back epistemically. I don't agree with what the Egyptians thought of Ra. But what is the atheist saying? Ra doesn't exist. That's what atheism is, a belief that rejects the existence of all gods. All of them. Every single fucking god ever asserted. When God is merely what the monkey is pointing at and calling God, you're kind of going out on a limb conceptually trying to reject all gods. Some of them are real, some of them aren't real. And we're probably going to agree that epistemically, they're all without foundation. They're just making statements, tautologies and stuff like that. But atheists blunder in when there are real gods, because now the atheist is either tasked with denying the existence or denying that the sun is a god. The atheist would have to tell me why the sun lacks the god-bearing attribute. Like, because they either deny the existence of the sun or they say that the sun doesn't count. Because if the sun counts, then they look like an idiot denying the existence of the sun. So their only logical out is just to say that the sun's not a god. But then what is their epistemic bridge? What is their epistemic foundation to say that they know something about the nature of God and the sun lacks it? That's a pitfall. If they answer that question, they're a theist. Only a theist can tell me what a god is, what the god-bearing attribute is. Only a theist gets to answer that question. If the atheist answers that question, they're saying God has ontology. God's essence is such that it has this property. That's just, I mean, if the atheist wants to say that, they're just an idiot.
Now, you asked for your hope for structured argument. In the side chat, I have the best of the best. Like, if you go and research like the best Christian philosophers bringing like fighting for Christianity, they're gonna give you these arguments. Except for that third one, that's our counter argument for one of them. I think Eggy worked on that with some folks.
There's actually one other logical out that atheists have attempted. They say that their atheism is in response to a god of classical theism. That they're rejecting this one concept. But what's funny about the god of classical theism is that its definition is incompatible with any known god that I've ever heard of, right? Like, there may be an omni god that somebody proposed. I've never heard of it. I've heard of gods being like super powerful, could do lots of stuff, but never heard of an omni god. Like, Yahweh's not an omni god. That rules out Abraham, any of the Abrahamic faiths. None of those are omni gods. I've never actually heard of Hindu gods being omni gods. I have heard those gods having wars and battles and shit like that, which is inconsistent with the nature of an omni god. But I don't know. Maybe it was holding back. We'll have to, get to that later. But I've never actually heard of any theist in this world believe in the existence of a god that has the omni traits. They allege it has the omni traits. Like the Christians would be like, oh yeah, it's an omni god. He's all powerful. But you read the Bible and he's not all powerful. He's got limitations. And be like, well, he knows all things. And it's like, well, you read areas of the Bible and Yahweh's described as not knowing things. So Yahweh himself is not a god of classical theism. So in the atheist attempt to rationalize their atheism and hold on to something, they themselves, I think, invented the god of classical theism. So it's kind of a blunder, like in all, like, because the thing is why would philosophers go out of their way to construct a god of classical theism when no one's actually believing in one? It's only a philosophical tool or a philosophical framework for philosophers to question their axioms and reasonings and stuff like that as they pretend they're addressing this God of classical theism. Atheism is a really bad epistemic framework because it really is just a rejection of theism. But you don't need to reject theism because theism is fundamentally incoherent. It's not even in propositional form, like in the form of either semantic content because it's overly ambiguous, or in epistemic content because it's absent a referent. It's literally adult baby babble. Adult baby, like I mean it to the fucking T. Only difference between baby babble and adult baby babble is a lot of adults share the baby babble. Baby babble isn't shared amongst babies, but adults grow up to say words that have no semantic or epistemic understanding. They're literally as vapid as they get. God loves you, but it's not a metric of love you've ever heard. God hates you, but it's not a metric of hate that you've ever heard. They mean these words in ways that don't actually convey any of the meanings in our lexicons. It's overly ambiguous. They lack any epistemic or some, I'm just repeating myself there. So atheism like rejects an incoherent proposition. So itself is incoherent.
Have you seen these arguments before, the ones I posted in the side chat? They're really old. They're like thousands of years old.
And again, I'm a big what's his name? Connor
Alex O'Connor.
Alex O'Connor, thank you. Yeah, fan. So because I respect that he's like his method of trying to debunk God is to find evidence of God and to seek it out with intent. And I find that like the most respectable method because he's basically saying like, if you have the evidence, give it to me and I will consider it. I have looked for it extensively. I've read the Bible and studied it more than most theists have. And he still hasn't found it. And to me, that's the most like respectable method is to.
I mean, the most respectful method is to bend over backwards to a person.
No,
Dude,
okay, maybe not respectable. Maybe you're right.
Think about it, though.
It's the most extensive. No, you're totally right. It's actually
what are
total
you
bullshit.
describing though? Think about what you're describing about Alex O'Connor. You're saying, hey,
but what I'm
Alex
saying is-
O'Connor, hang on.
Okay.
You're saying Alex O'Connor wants to discover something about the universe. So what does he do? He goes and talks to nerds. Well, what the problem is if you want to understand something about reality, you got to be the nerd to go discover it. That's what the nerds are doing. They're out there discovering things about reality, right? They're not just sitting around in rooms talking about stuff, right? So if Alex O'Connor wants to discover God, he needs to go either A, talk to scientists, or B, become a scientist himself, figure out where he points his fucking thing to make a measurement. That's what he should do. But he should give up pretending that some fucking ground monkey has some clue about a cosmic space creature, right? Why are you talking to philosophers and ground monkeys about the nature of a thing that you think is out there? Go look for it. Quit talking to the monkeys. We're not gods, right? Go find it.
I think his answer would be that he wants to exhaust every option.
Yeah, go look for it.
I think the only thing respectable is his pursuit of trying to understand people.
That's what I mean. Like he's genuinely trying to.
No further, dude. No further than that.
That'll get you to understand the people. That's not going to get him to understand the nature of a thing that he thinks is out there.
No, I agree with you. I think that he's. In fact, I think he's got a presupposition in his pursuit. I think he's already decided most people he talks with are not going to give him any evidence. I think he's made up his mind, but I think he's doing it almost to give evidence to the fact that no one can explain it. Almost like this space right here.
I feel like all those words on YouTube is to disarm the theists that he speaks to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
To make them feel like they don't need to be defensive.
Wait, you think he's platforming them?
Well, what's from a Christian's perspective, their job is to like go and spread the word to the masses and to the ones who are ignorant. Avail them of their ignorance. And then here's a person being the perfect victim. I want to know, but I'm ignorant.
Yeah, come on my YouTube show. Dude, look, I'm not shitting on Alex, bro. I'm not
No,
shitting.
I don't think you would. I just think you disagree with like the
No.
extent that he goes to or something.
No. I'm just saying, if Alex wants to find God in his blunder, he's talking to monkeys.
Yeah, I
Well-
feel like your characterization of his like full motivations, I don't think are as sincere as you're describing them, or at least it's
You-
kind of like what is it? Fully like locked in. It's more
So
of
you
like
think
here's
he's anti-nerd? You said he's a content creator. So you think that there's some degree of like performative
No,
something
you're not.
going on?
You're not really
we wear
hearing
faces.
what I'm
Go ahead.
saying is it's a advice for Alex that you're talking to the wrong people. If you truly want to find what is out there in reality, stop talking to the morons, the charlatans, the fucking gaslighters, the manipulators, the people who believe without good reason. Stop talking to that
What about
group
the
of people.
what about the Bible?
Hang on. Stop
Okay.
talking to that group of people and go out there in the world and find it. It's just advice, not criticism, because what he's doing is good work. I don't think what he's doing is wrong, and
Correct.
he found a way to monetize it. So I'm not shitting on him for fucking monetizing.
Yeah. But then what about the people he talks to who are like religious experts? Aren't those the like highest tier of person that would give him the opportunity to scrutinize their beliefs at the most extreme level?
What? No.
Dude, I get
It's a-
spaghetti. You're,
Like Bible experts.
you're
is what I'm
framing
saying.
it so wrong. You keep taking the words at face value. You need to start thinking about social behavior, terms of engagement. We
Okay,
put
let
on
me give you a
faces,
very specific
we
example.
put on faces for different people when we go around and talk in different communities, right?
Yeah.
The way you behave in a classroom is different than when you're like shooting the shit with your friends, right?
Okay.
Alex O'Connor is in the same way, right? He's behaving one way to be approachable for theists to come up to him and speak.
Which itself is fine. It's philosophical
And
discourse.
you're taking this as their Alex O'Connor's most earnest, deeply held version of himself in the most intimate form.
I'm not trying to be universal about like thinking that this is the ultimate way to be. I'm just, for example, when he sat across from a Christian theologist.
I mean to say, I
And-
don't believe the conviction is to the degree you're describing. Sorry, go ahead.
When he sat across from Dinesh and challenged them on the sort of tenets of Christianity as a theology that was worth abiding at all, it felt like someone doing good work in understanding the
Bro,
opposition and doing a
Nobody's saying
takedown
he's
from.
doing bad work, man. We keep trying to tell you
Okay.
that.
Okay. Well,
What you framed it this way. You said
Okay.
Alex O'Connor is doing his best to find God. So he goes to the biggest minds and gives
Right,
them the
right, yes.
opportunity. And I said,
Yes.
as advice to Alex, if that's true, if you're trying to find a thing out there in reality, stop talking to those idiots. That's all I'm saying there. Period. On that next,
Okay, yeah,
next chapter, and on the
Well,
next chapter.
and then my counter
on
would
the
be:
next-
is this
on the
guy an
next-
idiot?
Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ.
Is Dinesh an
Jeez,
idiot?
shut up. Why are you doing that?
Well, you said he was an idiot.
On the next chapter, I'm trying to say that his endeavor to expose theists is fine. It's just that if he's looking for God, he's blundering doing that. He's wasting his time on those idiots. That's what I'm saying. If he's looking
Isn't that
for
a
God,
judgment call on your part, though?
if he's looking for God, he needs to go elsewhere. If he's looking for content and exposing these assholes, he's doing the right thing. That's the right thing. So
Okay,
if you're
okay.
saying he's trying to expose assholes and you point to his YouTube channel, fine.
I got you.
But if he's
Yeah.
looking for God, he's talking to the wrong people.
I got you. No, I get it. I truly get it. Where would
It's
you?
like,
Where
are
would
you
you look
familiar
if-
with laying the land?
Well,
like-
Mogi, let me ask you. Like, where would you look if you were looking for God? If you were a Alex
If
O'Connor
I was
person?
choosing my battlefields,
Yeah.
I would make sure that I have that opportunity rather than just go straight to them. right? I would set
Well, no, I
myself
agree
up,
with anti-nerd.
and
You
then
certainly shouldn't go to the
I would
lowest.
set the stage just so I can expect what's coming, and so I can give them what I'm prepared to give them.
But I think maybe you're missing what he's saying as well, that the lowest common denominator of person, of human being, isn't evidence of God, like just because they do or don't believe in it or whatever. I think you need to go to a more source oriented position, like find evidence of divine intervention in life or something like that. Like, you know,
that's vapid nonsense, though. What's divine
no, I know,
intervention?
and I agree with you. But you're certainly not going to find it.
You are, because you just said that you would have to go out and look for divine intervention. I'm asking. Look at it this way. I have an empty coffee cup here, right?
I'm just saying a human is the
hold
bad
on,
source.
dude. You have a problem tracking. I have an empty coffee cup here. I need to put coffee in it, but I'm going to do it when I wake up, right? Because I'm about to go to bed in a little bit. But it's an empty coffee cup. Now, according to quantum mechanics, at any moment, this thing could destabilize and vaporize me, right?
Sure.
Now, how do I know there isn't a God and he stopped that? It went off, but he rewound time, fixed everything,
that's a good
and put it all
point.
back together. And I have no
That's
fucking
a really
clue
good
that
point.
shit.
That's a really good point.
I would never be able to define, like, if that's divine, I wouldn't be able to identify it. So you're saying, hey, go out there and find the divine. Well, all the things that exploded and got reverted back to what they were and survived. It's a vapid statement. What would you look for to find divine?
I thought your point was that Alex O'Connor talking to people was like the lowest, like the stupidest way, because like
they're morons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Right. All the people he's talking to are dumbasses, right? They're fucking useless morons.
Right. And I thought that was why you were saying the argument is useless, but I extrapolated that to just all people, not just the stupid people.
No, I'm saying people who are believing in God.
I'm just saying, I think people in general are not a good source to divine whether or not God exists, and talking to them whether or not God exists is not a good.
True of any object, dude. Any object in space-time. That's true of it.
That's what I thought you meant by Alex O'Connor is not pursuing it the right way by speaking to people. He should look for it elsewhere, not to try and get someone to convince him in a conversation that God exists.
Why'd you bring him up again? Is it just because you're just like, I like his rhetoric style, or what?
Because he's one of the most representative atheists in the modern discourse, I guess.
But nobody's saying anything bad about Alex O'Connor, and you're like defending him. Like, it's weird.
No, I'm not trying to defend him. I'm sort of trying to understand.
He's a well-established figure, sure, in the community.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of trying to understand how his methods get critiqued by you, which I think you've made a good point. Like,
holy
he talks
shit,
to
dude!
people and
You're not listening, motherfucker. I'm talking about two entirely different things, and you just keep conflating them. Listen, man. Let me say it backwards. Alex O'Connor, you're talking to a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah.
Period. Done. I shipped that book off to the fucking publisher. Okay.
Okay.
It came back 6 months later. I was reading it while taking a shit. I burned my own book. I got up, fucked a donkey, sat back down. Now I'm saying, Alex, if you're looking for a God, go out there in the world and find it. Stop talking to monkeys. Two entirely different propositions here. You prefaced the whole statement. One more time. You prefaced your whole statement with, Alex is looking for God, so he talks to morons. I'm saying, if you're looking for God, my advice, stop talking to morons and go look for God. On the side, while you're not looking for God, on the side, keep exposing morons on YouTube. Keep doing that.
Where do you think would be a good place for him to look for God?
North. I don't know. I don't know where gods hang out. I don't know what they do, what they look like. I know nothing about God. All I know is that going to morons isn't going to help you do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
So if I was looking for a sponge, I wouldn't go to theists or morons. If I was looking for a dog, I wouldn't go to theists or morons. If I was looking for a cure to my infection, I wouldn't go to theists or morons. If I needed to know what a moron looked like, I would go to theists. Like, do you think nerds like get telescopes and just point it at theists and they can study like galaxies?
I guess I think there are people who are like experts in their field, but I hear what you're saying about like Alex is pursuing it maybe in the incorrect way. He's just trying to dunk on people more than try and find the truth.
I don't think he's really trying to dunk on people. I think he's just offering exposure. He's exposing these people in a very polite way.
Maybe, but sure, and I agree with you that that's like helpful, but it's maybe not in the honest pursuit of his goal.
To expose theotards for what they are,
right? Like
His
if
goal
you're
is
if his goal is really to find the absence of God, then maybe
what's
that's
Alex
just
O'Connor's major?
maybe that's just a byproduct. What is his major?
Philosophy.
Oh yeah, no, and so
Alex
yeah,
O'Connor does all this to discuss philosophy.
right.
He likes to regularly discuss philosophy.
Yeah, he ain't looking for God, dude.
Alex O'Connor takes actions to talk more about philosophy.
Yeah,
Alex, do you think he's disingenuine in his purpose, but
no,
he's also
I just think that he would agree with me. Right? He can have the endeavor of looking for God and wanting to find it. And he can agree with me that talking to these fucking morons is a waste of his time, and agree with me that going out in the universe and looking out there is a better spending of his time if he's looking for God. I'm sure Alex O'Connor would agree with all of that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And at the same time, focus on taking steps where he can discuss more philosophy. And
Can I ask you guys genuinely, am I doing something right now that is upsetting you? Because I'm trying super fucking hard to be like a understanding and have an honest conversation about this in a framework that like
no. I think there's a problem. The problem here is that I don't think you're making any nuanced point, but it feels like you're trying to like rationalize or justify something.
No, I'm just a curious person, and in my brain is sort of countering everything, trying to figure out
sounding like pushback is what it's sounding like.
Yeah, dude.
That's what it sounded like.
It's like, dude, look,
okay. I'm really
fan.
not trying to do that. I'm just curious about the opposition perspective to some of the ideas that you're presenting to me that are coming up naturally as you're presenting them to me. And I'm not opposed to them. I'm just asking natural questions as they come up in my mind as you're presenting me with new frameworks for me to sort of digest. Like I'm really not trying to be antagonistic. I'm digesting this, but there are parts of me that are like, okay, but what about this or what about that or something?
You want to hear something?
Okay, yeah, go.
When someone tells me they're not trying to be antagonistic, I get antagonized when I hear that shit. So just be you, dude. Stop worrying about the bullshit. I'm a dick. Okay, I'm a dick. I'm an asshole.
No, you're not, dude. You're not a dick.
Stop it. Stop it. Yes, I am. Do not take that. Do not take that from me. I'm not bullshitting with you. Don't do that. Fine. I am an asshole.
I don't feel like you are.
No, you need to understand that, dude. You don't know me. You do not know me.
I'm receiving you, though. I'm receiving you in real time.
Bro, stop. Stop the interruptions.
Go ahead.
Do you think I need you to tell me to go ahead?
I'm sorry.
Do you think I need you to tell me that you're sorry?
No, I don't.
Do you think I need you to tell me that no? What do I need you to do?
I think you need me to shut up.
Right. Now, why are you not shutting up?
Because I want to connect with you.
You need to shut up.
Okay.
You're about to be banned. I'm so fucking serious, dude. You're triggering me. I've told you like 9 fucking times in this very sentence, this whole moment with me on the like, to shut the fuck up. I'm never joking around with you when I'm saying shut up. If I say shut up like that, I'm saying that because I don't want to moderate you. I'm giving you the opportunity to be an adult, take control of your own brain, and shut up before I have to treat you like, and to shut up with your own accord so I don't have to do that and treat you like a fucking child. That's denigrating. You're forcing me to denigrate you because you just can't shut up. You do it too much. You overtalk, you interrupt. I told your dumbass, I'm live streaming on YouTube. So shut the fuck up with your goddamn mouth when other people are talking, especially moderators, which are basically the only people in this room. So you don't get to overtalk us. You don't tell me that it's okay for me to speak now. You don't tell me that. I don't need you to tell me when it's time to speak. Watch. I speak on my own fucking time. And you doing that, you telling me you giving me the permission to speak in my own fucking room triggers me. Now, Spaghetti, why am I having this conversation with you right now? Because it's a persistent problem. I value your input. You've been cordial for the most part, but you're getting it in your head that you just get away with triggering me. I am a dick. I have insight to my own fucking condition, and I don't need some pissant piece of shit who hasn't known me but for a fucking hour telling me who I am, telling me that I'm not validating my own experience. You're gonna fucking judge me and you only known me a fucking hour? Fuck you. I told you this a long time ago. You mean nothing to me. I fucking hate you. You're dog shit to me. That's our relationship. Now, I hope I never have to fucking say it again. I hope I pounded it in your fucking head that I am not your fucking friend. I am here for one goddamn thing, and that's to help people unfuck their brains. People fucking with me and taking me off the fucking rails, doing all this shit, wanting to be my fucking friend. Waste of my goddamn time. I'm not here for that. I don't need you for entertainment. I only need you for the memes in your fucking brain. And you trying to be friendly with me is toxic to me. It's toxic to me. Being a little bitch and apologizing for who you are, that's toxic to me. Trying to be my friend, that's toxic to me. Stop doing it. I'll fucking ban you if you do it again. I fucking hate you. I'm not joking.
You don't got to explain yourself. Just reinforce the.
No, I actually I get it now. I didn't understand before. I get it.
So these arguments in the side chat, have you seen them before? Sorry.
Not before now, but I'm contextualizing them.
So these are like, I'm telling you earnestly, like you talk to like the big kahunas. This is the best that they've got. These three arguments. I don't know which one you're reading right now. What is it? How does it feel at face value?
Hold on. Okay, I got it.
Right, they're simple and distilled concepts. Like that's the intent in philosophy, to kind of boil it down to like the barest components. But something doesn't taste right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which one tastes funny to you at the moment?
They all four seem very similar to me.
Yeah, but you wanna look into why one of these might taste funny?
Give me a minute, please.
That's right.
Okay, I guess the fourth one is the least sound.
That was the least sound? I feel like that was the most sound.
Things change, things don't change themselves. It's like the most.
Oh, sorry, the third. Sorry, I thought you said the third one. You meant the
No, things change, things don't change themselves. Like that's so loose.
I mean,
everything else has a sort of
Greece.
relationship, but that one is just sort of like broad and
Sorry, not
doesn't.
ancient Greece.
Sorry,
I think Aquinas was like the year 400 something. Was it 500?
you hear what I'm saying though? The other three compared to that one have like a sort of deterministic framework where that one is just like things change. What does that even mean in the first place? And then things don't change for themselves. It's so subjective in terms of the judgment of the observer to determine what change even is.
I mean, is that really an issue for you? You don't understand the concept of change?
No, what I'm saying to you is I thought that the question was related to which was the least abided framework.
No, I was just asking you if any of these arguments taste. I was just asking if any of them taste funny, and then we can kind of look at them
the fourth one tastes funny to me. Yes. Yes.
All right. And it's because you don't under.
It's because things change. It's because things change is too broad. It's a subjective perspective based on judgment of the person observing it, and things don't change themselves is an even more indeterminate reality that's based on the person observing it and making a judgment on it. Like,
is P1 really a tough pill to swallow?
I mean, if you look at if knowledge then God, knowledge, like there's a flow with every other framework that you presented except for that one, which is deterministic on a judgment from an external observer.
Well, pick a thing in reality.
What do you mean? In the context of that fourth framework?
Pick anything in reality.
Okay, a bush.
All right, does it change?
A bush?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Does it change? Like,
Yeah, it grows.
Okay.
It grows, it decays, it wilts.
All right, it's a thing, and it changes.
Yes, right.
Can we think of a counterexample?
What's the opposite of a bush?
No, what's a thing that exists in reality that doesn't change?
I don't think anything.
So I think P1's fine.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm talking about things change. Things don't change themselves.
Yeah, the second one is a little weird.
Yeah, that I don't even know even what that means. Honestly,
Well, it's like I could guess what it means, but there's like a lot of ways to unpack it.
but why are you proposing this framework to me?
Because you were asking about solid constructed arguments for God, and that's what you were hoping for.
And you're saying this is something that people propose to you in that context?
I'm saying these are the three best ones.
There's 4 of them.
Well, the third one is one that we wrote, or Iggy wrote. I didn't. He worked with some people on it.
What's his name?
It's a nickname. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Is it real? Like, if I try to be friends with y'all, I'm gonna get booted? Because I kind of really like y'all and like this conversation, and I think it's really intelligent.
I think the general request is just to stay pertinent, and then just don't apologize for being you.
I guess the thing I'm apologizing for is being offensive and trying to correct myself.
Just be pertinent. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. No, and I want to do that, but I also like
Cool.
kind of want to stay. Dude,
Yeah, you can come back. You can come back in the
bullied
future.
and fucked over like in here. I really like this space, and I kind of like how y'all are teaching me.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
if
almost like
you're-
a fucking person in the gym saying like, "You can do one more, you pussy." Like you,
The
and I
channel's
get that.
around.
Like it helps me learn.
You can show up when you're feeling it.
Okay, well, I'm not leaving right now, FYI. But
I'm just saying in the future, right? It's like,
okay. So back to this conversation. What's going on with these 4 frameworks? Like I said, the things don't change themselves versus things change. Like that
well, they're
seems
arguments.
so.
They're reasons for their conclusions.
But they're so vague. What do those even mean? What does it even mean? Things change and things don't change themselves. Like
I think the first one we've established. I feel.
okay, yeah, it's
That one's fine.
like it's a deterministic framework that like is outside of like it has its own.
Anyway, I think you could take it just about anyway, and it's fine.
Sure. All right.
The second one,
let's just move on from that one. Yeah, because I agree with you. I get that one.
Like, let's take a basketball.
Okay.
Right now, I happen to believe that all massive things affect all other massive things at their respective distances. So there is no way the basketball is without all other things that are massive. But let's just say, for the hypothetical, there's only the basketball in space. I mean, there's stuff in the basketball that's interacting with other parts of the basketball. So, I mean, in my mind, it feels like P2 doesn't function like that. At least for me, it seems just fine that the basketball can interact just like that, just doing its own thing.
You're saying P2, the universe exists?
I mean, it was just like, what's wrong with things having their respective relations internally? That's sort of how I would contest P2, so to speak. Thinking of the counterexample and saying, hey, it seems to work. What's wrong there?
Would you say P2 depends on P1 being true as well?
No. Premises are generally standalone.
They're not stacked?
No, it's the inference rule in the conclusion that does that dependency relationship. It ties it all together. So I'm throwing jargon at you, philosophy jargon. So an inference rule is like there's a category of like formal reasons, formal like patterns of thought, where we can connect ideas and come up with a new one. And they have a bunch of fancy Latin names: modus ponens, modus tollens, and they're not that complex. They're not complex once you break them down. Like modus ponens is if P then Q, P therefore Q.
Okay.
So they're really simple at their face.
And kind of relational. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are things like there was a bunch of fancy words for like other like fancier logic, like conjunction, disjunction. That's like this and that, this or that. Or people like to do that S5 modal logic. So it's like they read a little bit further in the book and it's like, hey, possibly necessary this, and other stuff like that. So there's all sorts of Phil Bros will try to bathe you in jargon all day long.
What's the kalam or kalam argument? Like what is that?
So this is the original version. So the updated one is has just one minor nuance.
No. I'm not asking about the argument itself. I'm asking like, what does that mean?
Kalam's a person.
In what theology?
In Islam, I think.
Okay, and that's like I've read the Quran, or I'm reading rather the Quran right now, and I'm not aware that is Kalam like a significant figure in the religion.
I mean, he's not going to be in the Quran. He's a bit after that, but he was just a philosopher guy in an Islamic society that came up with this.
And this is a common argument that you receive in this space.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So this is the original version.
Yeah.
There was one nuanced addition that has been added in the last 30 years or something, which is everything that begins to exist has a cause. And then the P2 would be changed to the universe began to exist. This is the OG version.
I mean, that's reasonable.
So,
right? Like that's not...
people don't necessarily run this argument from the get-go. They'll use
who would disagree with
they'll
what you
use
just
the
said?
far more what?
Who would disagree with what you just said?
Which part?
The foundations you just laid out. I feel like those are super reasonable.
Which foundations? Sorry. Talking about the Kalam argument?
No.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. If it comes back, you can bring it up.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I smoked some weed, and my brain is not doing a good job remembering in the immediate. You just said something about how the average person would perceive something, and I was like, that seems like a reasonable assumption for people to have that notion. But then
I didn't finish that. I didn't finish the thought.
Yeah.
So the most energy efficient way to bring up this concept is to do the come from question. I think you heard it earlier, right? Where did it come from? Come from, as Iggy likes to describe, is 6th tier wizard spell. Is that what you said?
Level 9 wizard spell. Wait,
level
creation?
9 wizard spell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's level 9.
Yeah, it's a level 9 wizard spell in the first player handbook of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I don't know if that's the level in the book. I just say it's a level.
So that come from is carrying all of this baggage. And so they think it's an appropriate question to ask that because they already have this notion in their mind that comes like this notion of creation. This creation thing, it's a thing. And then earlier you heard me get the pushback. It's like, is that a thing?
I mean, I guess as far as they perceive it to be.
And so the Kalam argument takes this same idea, but kind of packages in a different turn. Like it uses a different abusive language, which is this, I guess, like cause and effect relationship and how things occur. And they think there is this like dependency chain, like for a software package or something like that. This depends on that, depends on this, depends on that. And at the end, it's God.
Okay, and you're saying that that's something people should either...
Well, the whole problem here is that there is I accuse this argument of making false equivalence between the form of something and then the act of nothing to something. They're two very different relationships, but they want to equate the two.
Okay.
Consider an example of a potter making a dinner plate. There's some existing stuff, the clay. They shape it, put their stamp on it, say, I'm done. Now it's done. That form of the stuff is the beginning of that plate's existence, according to premise 1.
Okay.
But the conclusion is trying to say the very different relationship of no stuff, no clay, to clay, as if it is the same. I think it's a big mistake to say that these are the same relationship. The form of something and its essence, so to speak, coming from nothing.
I agree with you, and I also can understand, now that I understand the way that you've explained it, how people could not appreciate the relationship, because
It's
of
an
how
abusive language. It's so easy for them to associate with, though, right?
I
Because
agree
they
with
can
you, and
just
I
use the
think that it's
language to
also
just say,
very
"Hey,
easy
I can do that.
for
I can point my mind at this. Works like that." Yeah.
I
Yes.
I agree with you when someone, like, breaks it down right in front of you, it's easy to grasp as a lesson, and I also think it's easy for people who don't have that lesson, to just default into, again, vibes and not critical thinking. Um,
Well, the panacea I think comes to mind quite a bit.
yeah, I don't think. What do you mean the panacea?
Here is a puzzle
Oh,
piece that
here's your
or
solution to
cause.
everything. Right.
Here's
Yeah.
cause. Cause goes
Right.
here.
Right. And here's the thing. Here's the thought process that will solve all of your problems.
Right. Notice the parentheses I put in these arguments.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I get
And
it.
it's God. And like yet another jump that still isn't made yet.
This is why, and not to make it, I mean, if I get banned for saying this, I guess fuck me, but like this is why I'm asking y'all if we could actually connect outside of the framework of this place. But like he just said, if I ask for this, I'm a fucking like a idiot loser or whatever. I'm not trying to come in here and be the typical politics person who's like trying to be antagonistic. I'm genuinely coming in here because I personally want to learn, and I personally want to add my perspective to the world as I see it, which is that people are weak when they lean on God, and they have a perception that God's going to solve their problems, and when they look outside themselves for solutions, they're becoming the one, in my opinion, a problem in society by not taking responsibility and accountability for the things in their lives that will allow them to progress into a better position for themselves, but B, also take responsibility for the ways that they're fucking up and not doing the best that they can do. So like I have a personal investment in this argument, and I'm not trying to pursue it solely from like a gotcha clips farming thing. Like I'm actually in here to have a good conversation. And even though anti-nerd, you kind of like told me like
Here,
fuck you, like all this and that, I fucking
we
hate
know
you.
where we know
I don't
where
feel
you're
like
coming
that's
from.
true. I don't feel like that's true, dude.
Here, I guess just a note, just so you're aware, the rapport is slowly built up.
Okay, I'll
So
come over here over time
yeah,
then, I
just
guess.
so just like the place is here. If you've looked at the timer of this chat room, you can see how
Yeah, it's
long
been at
it's
least
been
an hour
open.
we've been talking.
That is that second number is the hour.
Okay.
First number is days.
Let's not get too pedantic about the whole thing. I'm just saying, like, I'm
Well,
here. I think you've
I'm
acknowledged that
saying
I'm not
that
here
this
for bullshit. Like, I've demonstrated myself and that I'm an
I'm
intellectual
just saying
person.
this place is here. This place will be here for a good while.
I've not seen it here all the
So just
time,
like
to be
so
clear
you
with
could
y'all.
just like just come back in intervals, and you can just through osmosis, through exposure, you
Okay.
can you can build up. We can give you the reins for a little while if you wanna what is it go to toe to toe with the theist.
No,
Yes, you
yeah,
do.
I would like to. Yes, like I told you when I first came in, I can argue both sides, and that's what I think makes me a formidable opponent in this space. Because
Oh,
I
I
actually
guess
understand how fucking stupid people could be
scroll
on
to
the other
the
side.
top of
Okay,
this post thing. We've got a sticky rules in the
in the
side
side chat.
Yeah. Go ahead and read
By the way,
those.
Mogi, real quick, dude? What was the Nausicaa like? That's did you go see the 40th thing in theaters?
No. Was
Okay.
that
Anyway, you posted that, so I was curious. What am I looking at in
I
the
don't know if
side
they're gonna
chat?
do a rescreening. Maybe
They
there's one in
did. They
my
did. They did like an
major
IMAX
city.
screening. Oh, mission statement.
An
Is that what I'm looking
IMAX
at?
one? Holy crap. Mission statement and then the rule. It's just like there's another. Just because like some of them are a little
Oh, we're
weird,
talking.
right?
Okay, yeah. Individual mutes. Chat further. No devil's advocate. Okay. Okay. Well, that's maybe where I fucked up the most is like no devil's advocate. I'm really not trying to be like a
I mean, in this case, we were discussing strategy, so gotta
yeah,
think
yeah.
about your
It
audience.
is a strategy perspective for me. Like trying to
It's
understand how better you guys counter people who are kind of idiots.
they're guidelines when we're having like a meta like sidebar conversation like this. It's not as prevalent, but still. The devil's advocate, we just want your earnestly held beliefs so we can shit on them, right? Make them better.
I got you. I should have read this
And
before.
then
I apologize for not reading this. Honestly, I get the solipsism point as well.
oh,
I
you're good.
apologize that it was represented that way.
We don't blame anybody for ignorance.
Well, reading the rules is maybe not acceptable.
No, you're fine. Now that you know, you know.
Okay. I mean, y'all, if this space really exists perpetually, I come in here a lot, not trying to fucking stir up shit, but try and learn. So I haven't seen this room existing over a long period. But if y'all are saying it does, then I'll come back here.
Just look at the timer.
What do you mean? Of how?
That green number next to the title of the room and the.
No, I know.
You
But
see the side column?
what do you mean that indicates?
That indicates how long the chat room's been open.
Well, no, obviously, but like, what are you saying? Like, you're saying that because we've been here a long time that means we'll always be here? Because
No, I'm saying
lot
that
of
the
these are
chat
like,
room has been open for 789 days, 59 hours, and 34 seconds,
what?
according to what it
No,
says.
that's hour. Isn't it hours?
No,
No, the
fucking.
second number is
yeah, it's-
hours.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
Wait.
No, it's
Maybe
that's
that is hours.
Yeah, it was open for 5,000 hours, and then the server did that crash bullshit.
Oh fuck. All right.
yeah.
Well, I see what
That's
I
fake news
definitely
on my
get what
part.
you. I take your meaning now. God damn.
Like, we're here. You can come back.
Promise, anti-nerd. You are we cool, man?
No. That's why
for me
you
to
end
come
up
back?
not being able to see the room because you get banned.
For me to come back, am I cool to come back?
Did you hear what I just said?
You said we're not cool, you and me.
No. After that,
that if I don't see the room, I can't come back.
you have been complaining with Mogi. You said like twice that you have gone long periods of time of not being able to see the room.
And then, yeah, I was saying I maybe scrolled past it. I
That's
don't know.
because you come in here and you cross my boundaries. You keep
We've met
crossing
before?
That's why you're not able to see the room. You're getting banned. You're coming in here and getting banned.
I don't think that's accurate.
Right. If you can't see this room and you haven't seen this room for a long time, it's completely accurate because it's been open for 790 hours. That's the evidence. It's been open for 790 hours. We reset the ban list about about a week ago, but it had been
I've never. You guys wouldn't remember me because I'm respectful and I'm intelligent and I'm trying to have a good conversation.
But you don't understand. You cross boundaries with me. Your respect is crossing boundaries with me. The way you think you're respecting me is not respecting me. It's disrespecting me. I've told you multiple times we're never going to be friends, man. That's true.
Hey, anti-nerd strike force. I was just
could we be though for real? Honestly, like why can't we ever be friends?
Hey, Spaghetti.
Too late.
No, I was just simply wondering if you were ready to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
Yeah, can you prove him?
Yeah, I mean he's the most biblically proven figure in the history of the
No,
world.
prove
I mean,
its
you look at the
existence.
Bible. Yes, it's
Biblically
simple. Like,
proven.
can you prove that Alexander the Great was a real person?
Are you saying Alexander the Great is Jesus?
No, I'm
We
saying
have-
there's
have proof
far
of-
less there's far less evidence
Okay,
that
so
he
what's
ever
the task?
existed than
What did I
Jesus.
ask you to
It's
do?
well
That's not
known.
true.
It's
That's not true.
okay. So you want me to prove that Jesus Christ as a person existed?
That's your claim, right? No. I don't want you to prove he
Wait.
existed.
Now you're
I don't
moving the
want-
goalpost. You
if you
said
keep
prove that
over-talking me, I'm
Jesus
gonna
Christ
start muting.
as a person exists.
You heard the warning? I said if you keep over talking me, I'm going to mute you.
Well, it's simple. You may.
Did you hear what I said? If you keep over talking me, I'm going to mute you. You have a problem of not answering questions, don't you? You're stacking up questions. There's like 3 questions now. You don't like answering questions, do you? There's a question. Do you like answering questions?
Yeah, I'm answering your.
Yeah, well, we're going to start answering them more specifically, okay? When I ask a question, you answer it. Don't be a dick. Don't overtalk me. So what I'm wanting you to do right now, because you said it, you said Jesus exists. So I don't want you to prove Jesus existed. I want you to prove Jesus exists. You talking to me about Alexander is idolatry. You citing the Bible is idolatry. I'm asking you to put Jesus on the table. You put anything on that table, you're putting it before Jesus, unless it's Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it like Jesus exists through the Holy Spirit.
Are you putting the Holy Spirit on the table? I'm going to start doing this because you made me start doing this, and I don't want to have to start yelling. It's like 3. Oh, well, it's almost 4 o'clock my time. So since you wanted to disrespect me, I'll just do this anyway. Are you citing the existence of the Holy Spirit?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, where do I go to get
Father,
that?
the Son, and the Holy
Where do
Spirit.
I go to access that?
All wrapped in one.
Where do I go to access that? Because if you can't prove the Holy Spirit exists, then you're in the same problem with Jesus. You're just citing another thing you can't prove exists. So what I want you to be able to do is prove to me the thing exists. That's what I need you to do. So start doing that. With citing things you can't prove exists to prove a thing you can't prove exists. That's illogical.
Here are artifacts of Alexander the Great at the time of Alexander the Great. Do you have artifacts of Jesus at the time of Jesus?
So now you're saying that Jesus that never existed as a person?
Well,
I'm
a
just asking
mythicist,
you
yeah.
if you have artifacts of Jesus at the time of Jesus.
Yeah, there's several historical evidence that Jesus
All right,
Christ
proceed.
existed. There's
Proceed.
okay.
Cite
You
'em.
want me to actually? Okay, let's cite him. I'm more than happy to take this debate because this is far easier to win.
He's provided you a link. Let me see your link to the archaeological evidence of Jesus Christ
All right.
of Nazareth.
Well, you look at it specifically. Let's talk about the Shroud of Turin.
No, I want to see a citation of Jesus Christ, like the shit of Jesus Christ.
Well, we have all his scripture passed down through the Bible,
No,
and also
I want to see
the
his
Shroud of
his
Turin, like I said.
dude, a book written like 100 to 300 years after Jesus' death does not count of shit Jesus had. Like, let me see his sandals or something like that.
So, do you agree that there are several texts
you have
written
sandals
around
of
the time of the
Jesus, his
existence
robe?
of Jesus?
You got his crown
No.
of thorns.
I don't agree.
Okay, so you don't think there are several texts that all
I didn't ask you for text. I asked you, did you have his sandals? Do you have his robe, his belt? Do you have his crown of thorns, or maybe the spike he was put on? Do you have his toothbrush? Do you have any object that Jesus owned?
Yeah, look at the Crowd of Turin.
Listen, retard.
I'm
The
just saying. Look at
The Shroud of Turin is not actually a fucking thing. Not of Jesus. It's just a piece of cloth. That's it. It's just a piece of cloth. Like, you can't just cite a piece of cloth. Dude, if you were having a good time with that fucking nerd, you can unban him if you ever want to. I can always just reban him if I have to. I was just making a point to his dumbass. I don't really give a shit one way or
motivated
the
than I
other.
should.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm 3 a.m. motivated.
I, for one, am both shocked and appalled.
I've always said that, you know, I mean, you guys want to unban people, I don't give a shit. I can always just reban them. Except for Wise
Okay.
Ape. That fucking guy. Fuck Wise Ape.
He's just sad. I just don't know why he cares so much.
He might have a problem. He might experience like empathy or some shit in a weird way. Just like one of those fucking touchy feely friends and shit. You just want to fucking choke slam.
I think it was just like this was his outlet, and he was just really salty about not having it. Yeah, dude, we have a good amount of like artifacts of Alexander the Great. Like the written records are shakier, sure, but Daddy's tomb is pretty convincing. Coinage, temple, not so much. Wait, is the Christian God an NFT of worship? Oh, his sarcophagus. We have his sarcophagus. I don't know if it's ceremonial though. I think it is ceremonial, but it's dated to 320 BCE. Yeah, I don't know if I'd take the sarcophagus of him, but I'll take his father.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd trust the sarcophagus either. I mean, it could be, but I don't know.
I just like, just to be consistent with the disputing. Well, it's just like, that's not a person. That's just a depiction of glory.
I think when I knew a historian guy way back in the day, and he was talking to me about that kind of shit. One of the things that I took from all that is what even really constitutes as like good historical evidence versus bad. One of the things he talked about is historians like reading narratives of conquered armies, writing about their fall. And so if you're reading about like some area and they're saying, Constantine or whoever the fuck, Alexander, come in, fucked our shit, that is a more reliable account than, saying, hey, we went in there and fucked their shit. Because you're less likely to write about stuff like that. But the second thing I took from that is the emphasis they put on non-narrative stuff. Historians and archaeologists and stuff, they like things that don't necessarily get confused with narrative. So I always cite like shipping receipts, manifests, stuff like that they would have just had at the time. Helps give us a better understanding of ancient times than the narrative do themselves, because we can look in the narrative, we could find if there's consistencies in the record of availability of goods, or whether or not nations were conquered and stuff like that, that the way that history gets misrepresented by motivating people. Like when they talk about, most historians accept that Jesus is a real person, it's like they don't go on to say is that most of those historians who say Jesus was a historical figure also believe that Jesus was magical, because they're fucking Christians. So really shouldn't give a shit about the weight the majority of historians give on Jesus. They're biased. Of course they think it.
Oh, you can just buy this coin of Alexander the Great. It's $400.
That's crazy though. It goes for 400. There must be a lot of them.
I bet my granddad's like collection has one or two of those. He's got a lot of crazy fucking currency. He's got some ancient Sumerian coinage. He's got currency from like all over Asia, just all time periods.
You should get him some of them seashells. They said that the Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were trading.
I think he had that in a different collection. It didn't fit in the binder so well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he would find. My granddad was like a material physicist. Like he was focused on static structures of materials under high pressure. So like TNT explosives and diamond formations was like one of that. I think that was his thesis. And he was really obsessed with I guess metallurgy, ancient metallurgy. So he was obsessed with how Damascus had their foraging methods so different from people of their same time. And then he would go around everywhere. Everywhere he would go, he would find some Native Americans like hand tool on the ground, and then ways to make ancient equipment. I think he was like, that's what he was doing in his like later years. You just go pick up some rocks, like boil them, shatter them. And it's like, yep, you can cut with this. It's basalt. You got a bunch of stuff, that stuff over there. I didn't spend too much time around where you're at, but I bet if I was like going on those like lower foothills, but I could find some cool minerals. Some
You
fancy
can.
colored ones.
There's all kinds of minerals out here. There's fossils and shit too. There's all kinds of fossils in Mexico.
Oh gosh.
All right, I'll probably wind down. See another side.
Yeah, same here, man.